The text line and Twitter is hopping already this morning. Josh from Jackson on the text line says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Checked my broom yesterday, and come to find out it doesn't have a sticker on it. Had to ship it to Vandy to get it verified. Go Vols." Josh already taken this before the show even began. Josh already taking shots at Vanderbilt. And Pam on Twitter says, walking out of the gym this morning, opened the door for a gentleman walking in with his hands full. He said absolutely nothing and walked right in. It's an epidemic. I mean, the text line and Twitter, we're off to a great start. We're only at 6:01 on Monday morning.
Yeah, the whole Vanderbilt Tennessee cheating thing is real interesting.
Yeah, it
got
is.
Got a lot of information on that to share this show. But I will also say on that front, I've been even going out of my way to open the doors for people. I have yet to have a person who didn't say thank you.
Well, you're in the right part of town then, apparently. Apparently, this is a big
all
deal.
over town. All over town.
Maybe you're just much more friendly than I am. I don't know. You got a more inviting face, more welcoming aura.
Or intimidating.
Well, maybe that.
Maybe people are just afraid.
Maybe
so.
I
mean, that's how I'd like to look at it. You better damn well say thank you.
Maybe so. Michelle, what's going on? How was your weekend?
My weekend was actually really great. Nick right here is like, Michelle, what did you do this weekend? And genuinely, it's 6 a.m. on Monday, and I have no idea what I did Saturday.
That's good.
I'm like, oh, yeah, on Saturday I had a great day, and I actually just can't remember. So that's actually fabulous. But other than that, that's good. We got the car situation figured out.
Oh, good.
My mom is an absolute angel sent from heaven. So, yeah, basically the body shop's paying for my rental car now.
Nice.
So we're all good here.
So
you can take as long as you want to finish my car.
So an effective red rant on Friday with some results that have been yielded over the weekend. That's good stuff.
Very, very effective. And my mom has red hair too, so hopefully she red ranted them.
The double red rant. I like it. It's good stuff. We'll get back into the Vandy, Tennessee stuff coming up at 6:30 because it was a pretty interesting weekend over there at Hawkins Field. We'll start with the women's championship game last night. Congratulations to South Carolina winning the national title. They take down Gino Auriemma and the UConn Huskies 64-49, the final score in a game where it got close at one point in the game, and then South Carolina pulled away again towards the end. 64-49, the final. The Gamecocks get it done. Dawn Staley and company winning another national title. Title number 2 for South Carolina.
Yes, and all-time loss in the national championship game number 1 for Gino Auriemma.
Pretty incredible.
Which is incredible. I mean, he was 11-0, so he's 11-1 now. And it's been quite a drought here for UConn, which I think a lot of people who aren't UConn fans are not sad about. But kudos to them for getting there. And then South Carolina's been the best team all year. I think they demonstrated again. We saw them in Nashville slip up, lose to Kentucky, but sometimes that's good for teams to have need a little bit of a reset going into the tournament. They were just great. I mean, Destiny Henderson, just unbelievable yesterday, 26 points. And Aaliyah Boston, I don't know if you guys saw this, but at the end of the late, like on the celebration on the floor, she was talking about how last year when they lost, it was like her crying became like this thing that was constantly replayed and stuff.
Yeah.
But then she's like, but wait.
Somebody make a gif out of this.
Yeah. But pretty awesome. She's pretty great. And so is Dawn Staley. I've been a Dawn Staley fan. I'd like to raise my hand. I've never liked the University of Virginia team in anything. I can't stand UVA. Shout out to John Glennon and your tie-wearing football fans on Saturdays. But I loved the UVA women's hoops team that won it all with Dawn Staley just because watching her was unbelievable. So we're going way back. And she is a force in sports. So it's pretty cool. She's now 2-0. Someone asked her the other day, like, what about Gino Auriemma 11-0? She's like, well, we're undefeated too. I mean, 1-0.
100%.
Now make it 2-0. And gosh, they get Boston back next year too. So I mean, they're quite a program right now.
Well, they are. And speaking of Aaliyah Boston, I think I saw a stat where she had 34 rebounds in the Final Four. So the 2 games in the Final Four, which is third most in NCAA tournament history. It's pretty intense. It's insane.
That seems good.
34 in 2 games.
Yeah, it's and then she's just a really heady player. Great team. Paige Becker's in her hometown. I mean, that was cool. But they made a couple runs, but for the most part, man, South Carolina just the clear best team. So that's one Carolina, I think has made America happy, I would say. Like, I mean, correct. I don't think, I don't know, maybe are people not as down on UConn because they haven't won one in a few years now? I don't know.
No,
I know Tennessee's different.
Heavily pulling for South Carolina. Yeah, get UConn out.
You are a Tennessee fan, though.
Yes.
So that's never going to change. But I think you're probably right, though. I mean, I still think there's probably some level of UConn fatigue, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, that can become South Carolina fatigue at some point a few years down the road if things keep going the way they're going for them. But and now, of course, the other Carolina, which absolutely should not be playing Monday night, and it's still actually shocking to think about it, is playing for it all. And I think playing for America in this instance as well, because or at least I hope so. I mean, I hope most people are rooting against Kansas around the country. Am I right? Are they? I don't think so.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are rooting against Duke for sure for North Carolina. I don't know if it's going to be quite the same with Kansas, but I really like Hubert Davis, so I think I might be rooting for North Carolina in this game for sure. What a game on Saturday between Duke and North Carolina. The Villanova-Kansas game was not great on Saturday. Kansas really was in control from start to finish of that game. They went 81-65 against Villanova. North Carolina-Duke, a different story. The Tar Heels win 81-77 and send Coach K home packing in that game. Joe, what was your reaction to the game with all sorts of hype leading into it? 81-77, the final, lived up to the hype.
I mean, it was to me a bit stunning that it was as good as it was. It was so good that Vanderbilt loses to Tennessee, and the entire Vanderbilt staff that was on hand gathered around a TV in the press box watching the last 5 minutes of the game, oohing and eyeing every single play. And it was like they make a huge shot, now they take the lead, they make it. It was what a game. I mean, in terms of living up to the hype, I don't know that there are many better examples than that one. And it's just funny how if you watch that game over the years, there's the occasional blowout. In fact, I mean, there were 2 blowouts this year, but so many of those games are just insanely close and high level and back and forth. But again, that's Duke and Carolina in Cameron or in the Dean Dome. And for them to take it to this stage and have that kind of game was pretty amazing. And then, I mean, look, for North Carolina actually pulled off and end Krzyzewski's career like that. I mean, they won. The rivalry to me is over. They should stop scheduling each other. They should be like Duke. Actually, should just have to go to the SoCon now.
Just get them out.
Duke, you are relegated to the SoCon, and you don't ever get to play Carolina again. The rivalry, this ended a rivalry.
I love that. That's good stuff. It is amazing that Coach K finishes 50-50 against North Carolina in his career now. So that was the 100th game that Coach K has coached against North Carolina, and he ends straight up even at 50. Had a chance to legitimately just go out on top, win 51-49, it's over, and then you lose. You lost the last 2 in a row, 50-50, the split between Coach K and the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Like when North Carolina came into their building in the finale, there was no way that he was not going to finish his career with a winning record against North Carolina.
I know.
He's 50. He's 50-48. So you figure, okay, he's going to end up 51-48. Nice. He ends up 50-50. Unbelievable. And it looked like out on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill, they actually even upped their game a little bit compared to the other one. I mean, man. And Roy Williams, I don't know if you saw, but Roy Williams in the crowd, like you've never acted like that when you won national titles, man. My God.
He was very excited. It was incredible. Just an incredible game. And Baycott had 21 rebounds in that game for North Carolina. Love 28 points. R.J. Davis 18 points. It was an incredible game. And you're talking about an 8 seed at this point that's made the run to the national title game. This has been quite the story in the tournament with Hubert Davis.
Yeah, a terrible team earlier this year.
Yeah,
terrible team. Tennessee crushes them. Like everybody was blowing them out. Everybody's talking about, Carolina fans like, oh, Hubert Davis, oh no, comparing him to Bill Guthridge. Anybody remembers, Dean Smith handed it off to Bill Guthridge.
Oh yeah,
it did not go well at all, and it was like, you don't want to be the one who follows the great coach, and it worked out that way for Bill Guthridge. But they're here and they look really good. I don't know how they were ever bad as I watched them play.
Yeah.
Because they've got the guys thing. Don't trust a team that looks bad if it has a ton of talent early in a season, because Carolina had a ton of talent. But that Caleb Love 3 up 1 at the end, just pulling that shot, that's an all-timer right there.
That was a great shot, great game, and we're off and running here on Robby and Rexrode this morning, taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. We'll continue to take your thoughts on a wild game between Duke and North Carolina. We'll look ahead to North Carolina and Kansas coming up tonight in the national title game as well. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday, it's me, Jared Stillman, against Joe Rexrode for Jared versus Joe. Brought to you by Parman Tractor and Equipment. Visit ParmanTractor.com, your Middle Tennessee link belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Staples is evolving to Staples Connect, a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore what's new at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug & Associates, this is Mickey Marquis. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Here it is, folks, the final night of this crazy college basketball season, and FanDuel Sportsbook is giving new customers a $150 instant bonus guarantee. Joe Rexrode here to let you know. You get $150 in bonus site credit. All you have to do is place your first bet of $5 or more. How you bet the championship game is up to you. Carolina with another huge win over Duke, ending Mike Krzyzewski's career. You got Kansas looking really impressive against Villanova. I will say I think Kansas is the better team. That's just me. My bracket was bad. Take it or leave it. But Carolina does seem like a team of destiny after being so bad early in the season. All I know is that you should join FanDuel today with promo code Joe102 so you can place your $5 bet and score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. Again, that's promo code Joe102 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now a site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And that's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Preds fans, join us for Smashville Live this Wednesday on 102.5 The Game. Smashville Live airs on Wednesdays during the Preds season from 6 to 7 p.m., featuring Preds players, former players, and other special guests. You can watch the show via 102.5 The Game's Twitch, Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter. So be sure to join us for Smashville Live, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here on this Monday morning. Looking ahead to the national title game tonight, North Carolina taking on Kansas in a matchup where, talk about an emotional run here for North Carolina. You get to play your rival against Duke in the Final Four and all the emotion that went into that game. And then you just got to turn around and play for the national title tonight against Kansas as well. So what do you make of this matchup, Joe Rexrode, as you look at the title game tonight in the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game between North Carolina and Kansas? And what sort of chances do you give North Carolina to finish this thing off and get it done tonight against the Jayhawks?
Well, I think that this is the most being a good guy, quote unquote, that North Carolina could ever possibly be. Again, I could be wrong, but I think Hubert Davis is likable, way more likable than Roy Williams. Look, I enjoyed Roy's celebration the other night, but Roy Williams, Hubert Davis, there's a difference in likability. And Bill Self, I don't know, man. I don't know. I keep waiting for people to hate Bill Self. I guess Bill Self's kind of, his personality helps maybe brush aside some of all this stuff with the NCAA. But you're talking about a guy who really, there's not much difference between the Bill Self and Will Wade stuff, other than Will Wade had the money quote, the strong ass offer. So Will Wade had like really brazen quotes, but Bill Self's caught on tape on these investigations. It's very, very clear what is going on, and it's very possible that Kansas could win it all tonight and then next year not be in the tournament. I think that's not at all far-fetched to think that could happen. So I think also, the fact that Bill Self has one title, really, he should have more than that. But then again, there's another coach I can think of. You could say that. There's but I think that North Carolina is it will be as rooted for in a big game as they have been, just because of the Kansas situation. I also think Kansas is better.
Well, I can tell you this. They shot 54% from three the other night, and they must have made most of those in the first half, because I was sitting there watching them play in the first half the other night, and then, all of a sudden you look up and it's 36-18 Kansas. They're just hitting everything in the game. They shoot like that, it's gonna be tough for North Carolina. But it's one of those things too. You're looking around at North Carolina. You brought it up in the last segment. They've always had talent, and now they've found a way to put it together. And I don't know. I think this is going to be a really, really good game. Kansas is the favorite in this game, but I think this is going to be a really, really good national title game tonight. I hope I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope so. Look, North Carolina's playing so well, and they've maintained this. Obviously, you can't get here if you aren't playing well. What they did to Baylor in the first 30 minutes of that game was, whoa, that's some of the best basketball we've seen anybody play in this tournament. And they've had other great stretches, obviously. So if they play their best, Kansas plays the way they've been playing, I think I probably would still favor Kansas a little bit, but if that's the case, I think we are going to get a really good game. And Hubert Davis at the end of the night could have as many titles as Bill Self and John Calipari.
Yes, he could.
And Jim Boeheim and Izzo.
Yes.
And the list goes on. But, guys, Kansas has bad luck in New Orleans. 02-03, they lost to Syracuse. 12, they lost to Kentucky. And now another 10 years later, all in New Orleans.
That just tells me the Final Four is in New Orleans too much. Get Nashville in here. Take some of these bids away. Get Nashville in here.
It's happening. It'll happen. Yeah, they that 02-03 one, that was Carmelo. Yeah. And
how
Hakeem
ironic,
Rourke
both my
blocking
schools
shots.
beating Kansas.
Wow. I didn't think about that part of it.
Oh, now you're claiming Syracuse?
I sometimes do.
Yeah, sometimes. Keith from Bowling Green on the text line says Kansas could win the title and then before next year get it stripped from them. This is coming from Keith from Bowling Green on the text line. I guess that's possible.
Yeah, well, but I would think probably not because it shouldn't be related to this team. So, obviously these things go back. It's just that the NCAA, we go on and on about their enforcement process and everything.
Very timely.
So, yeah. So it's more likely that, whatever they come to, they will penalize Kansas. But, when you vacate a title, which the NCAA does not want to do, I mean, they had to do it with Louisville in 2013. But when you vacate a title, that's because these things happened in that season. So I would not expect that to be the case. If Kansas wins it tonight, I don't think anybody's going to mess with that banner or this championship. But, again, like serious sanctions, some kind of a suspension for Self, postseason ban for probably a year. I wouldn't think it'd be more than that, but probably just 1 year. It's probably about as intense as it can get. And Bill Self carries on, and his contract makes sure that no matter what happens, basically he can go out and commit like 78 felonies and still not have his bonus touched. So good for you, Bill Self.
So with that in mind, do you think that there's a Kansas hatred that has swept the nation? Do you think that people are actually – it's going to be overwhelmingly people rooting for North Carolina in this game tonight?
Well, you're probably right. I mean, I'd like to imagine that, but there's still a North Carolina backlash that's always going to be there. Any sort of blue blood. But again, that's the same thing with Kansas. So I guess I would say if you're really going to look at this situation and weigh it out like that, wouldn't you choose Carolina in this situation? Rick Bozich, longtime college hoops writer, he tweeted right after the game. He's based in Louisville. He tweeted right after the game, "Finish the job, Carolina. Save America from Dollar Bill."
Dollar Bill.
I saw that quote. I was like, "Yes, Rick Bozich. Yes, baby." That's how I feel. That's how I think people should feel. Do they feel that way? I don't know. It's a lot easier with like Krzyzewski or Auriemma,
Sure.
But I've long felt like Bill Self got a total pass. Again, let's compare him to Calipari. I think he got a total pass if you look at everything we know about those programs. Like Bill Self is just kind of like the aw shucks kind of guy. I guess people just like him. But I think he got a pass with all the stuff with the FBI investigation. We all focus on Will Wade. That's the salacious stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that it wasn't written about, talked about, and all that stuff, but it's still just sort of. He seems very Teflon-y, the Teflon Don, Bill Self. So I don't know. Maybe people have come around on that a little bit. Again, Carolina is Carolina, so there's already going to be this. Ew, no. But Hubert Davis, to me, pretty likable. And by the way, speaking of Hubert Davis, very upset with with the broadcast the other night. I wanted to see if he shook the hands of the Duke assistants.
Yes.
Or if they shook his hand.
Me too. They just focused on Kay.
Never saw it. I know. We're already going to see Kay on the golf cart, and riding off in the sunset. I mean, I heard there was someone tweeted that John Shire and somebody from Carolina got into like a little yelling match and had to be separated, but I haven't seen the video on that either. That's what I was here for.
Yeah. If that's the case, the rivalry is allowed to continue with Shire taking over. You start yelling at people all the time.
I guess, but he just, I don't know. I'm not, he just doesn't seem like he's going to, he just seems boring, I'm sorry. Not that Hubert Davis is out there rattling cages, but I don't know, man. It's just not going to be the same.
It's not. I was just I was disappointed after the game. Coach K did not tell anyone to be quiet. I was really hoping he would. Didn't tell anybody that I saw to be quiet after the game. Missed opportunity.
Well, I'm sure at his actual retirement barbecue or something, he'll get after the caterers or something.
Was a little part of you sad to see Coach K walk out the door the other night, the final time? Maybe the greatest college basketball coach ever. Depends on who you ask.
Well, I mean, it's still, the thing is, we normally don't get this. Here's my farewell tour.
Right.
You normally just get, okay, I'm retiring. Oh man, wow. I guess it's kind of cool to have this. I mean, look, it made for great drama to bring it all the way to the Final Four. And the other day we had, so I get mad about people who are like, oh, he did it the right way and blah, blah, blah. Again, he did things that you do. Their program did things you do to have the absolute best talent. And it's just reality. But I mean, I still, at the same time, people go way too far that way. I mean, he's still a great coach. And I think an absolute credit to the game and all that stuff. I mean, just because, every single player who's played for Duke is not a 4.0 student who would never so much as take extra cream cheese on their bagel, it doesn't mean that he shouldn't have tons of respect and appreciation from sports fans and college basketball fans. He should.
Coming up next, we'll get into the Tennessee Vanderbilt series over the weekend. Joe Rexrode was there for every single game, and what a series it was. We'll get into that next. Take your thoughts as well on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
Now at Lowe's, order any flooring like Stainmaster Pet Protect carpet, starting at $185 per square foot. See in-store associate or product detail page for warranty information.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and Nashville SC's new home, Geodis Park, is nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Secure your season tickets now. Come on and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
To understand what makes Genesis Diamonds so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back over 40 years to the diamond cutting capital of Tel Aviv, Israel. That's where Genesis owner Boaz Ramon grew up, in the center of the diamond universe. His connections with the best diamond cutters allowed him special access, giving rise to a thriving wholesale business here in the United States. Then, after a few years, this wholesaler changed the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices he had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success. Today, Genesis Diamonds provides that extraordinary value to people right here in Middle Tennessee, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best price of any jewelry store in America. Genesis Diamonds, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Genesis Diamonds, now with a stunning Omega Watch Boutique, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Stop buying tickets without rewards and start getting more from the only ticketing company that rewards you for buying, Vivid Seats. Buy 10 tickets, the 11th is on us. That's like 10% back every time you buy. And with 100% buyer guarantee and over 100 million tickets sold, that's something to sing, laugh, cheer, scream, buy about. Head to vividseats.com for terms and conditions. Vivid Seats. Life happens live.
At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. It doesn't matter how big or small your business is. If you're a plumber, roofer, electrician, or remodeler, your business earns back when you spend, gets exclusive offers, and paint rewards. It all adds up to help drive your business. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards and Partnership Program today. Minimum purchase required. Earnings and paint rewards awarded as Lowe's e-gift cards. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. Valid through 12/31/22. See Lowes.com/L/Pro Loyalty Terms. Subject to change. U.S. only.
And now a message from Puffs Tissues. It's that time of year when spring's in full swing and explosions of life make allergies really zing. Each sniffle and swipe can be a moment of dread, as ordinary tissues make noses angry and red. So keep Puffs by your side to soften all your blows. With Air Puffed Magic, they'll cushion your nose. Especially during allergy season, a nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Jordan Rogers, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
How was that situation explained to you with the bat?
I guess, the sticker came off during BP. There was no sticker on the bat. You got to have a sticker. We've actually, since I've learned that, we've got a few bats that somehow conveniently the stickers have come off. So I don't know, but I don't even know that Jordan Beck should be at University of Tennessee. Forged his transcript. And it's actually a 35-year-old man named Mike Concho.
That was Tennessee baseball coach Tony Vitello on Friday night. On his interview with SEC Network, that turned into quite the wild story over the weekend, Joe Rexrode, of Jordan Beck and his bat. Jordan Beck hits a homer. They inspect the bat after the home run is hit. He's called out because the proper sticker was not on the bat, and those were Tony Vitello's comments explaining it to the SEC Network. What a weekend for Tennessee. They sweep Vanderbilt. Their pitching was outstanding, and I believe I read a stat where they scored more runs than Vanderbilt had hits this weekend. So big-time stuff for the Vols. They've now, in back-to-back weekends, swept Ole Miss, at that time the number one team in the nation, and now have swept Vanderbilt as well. What a wild weekend over there at Hawkins Field, and Joe Rexrode, you were there for every second of it.
Yes, and it was quite a weekend. And yeah, I mean, Tony Vitello with one Talladega Nights joke turns a little controversial moment into let's sell some T-shirts, everybody. And the Mike Honcho T-shirts are going to be flowing like PBR in Knoxville.
Shake and bake.
So there's two stories. Oh man, KFC and Taco Bell for dinner. So there's two stories that are huge here. Well, huge. Two stories that are separate. One is, Tennessee baseball. They had a freshman, a sophomore, and a freshman on the mound this weekend. Chase Burns is a huge recruit. That's a big-time score for Tony Vitello. That's a guy who, maybe you would see him end up at Vanderbilt. So, or actually, maybe you'd end up seeing him going to the pros right away, which is what a lot of people thought. Well, he's at Tennessee for 3 years. He's a Friday starter. As a freshman, he's special. Chase Dollander, okay, you got a guy who was at Georgia Southern last year, looked really good against Tennessee. Vitello notices him and is like, hey, or whatever happened, all of a sudden he transfers to Tennessee and he's a heck of a starter as a sophomore. So he's got this year and next year for sure. And I think there's two guys who are pitching in the majors. And then you have Drew Beam, who has had tons of injuries. Murfreesboro kid, big. He's got the frame and everything, but he's had injuries. He had not quite Tommy John last year, but it was like torn UCL. It was like partial. Yesterday, I don't know that Vanderbilt, I think they hit maybe 2 balls hard off him. Complete game shutout. Just tremendous pitcher. So these are your weekend starters for the Vols. This is the story of they lead the nation in homers, all that stuff. That's great. They play great defense, by the way. They do everything well. But those pitchers are so good. And I know Vanderbilt fans look at it and say, well, the lineup is not great right now and guys are slumped or whatever. No, this was about Tennessee and their arms. They got Ben Joyce, who throws 103 miles an hour. The dude was, taking a bullpen session before they got on the bus. They didn't need him this weekend. They got Blade Tidwell, who was supposed to be their ace. He just came back from injury. They didn't need him. Like, he may take one of those, although I'd be surprised. Like, Drew Beam yesterday was like, yeah, if Blade takes the spot back, then I'll be great. I'll go. I'm like, dude, you're not going anywhere. Blade Tidwell is probably just going to be a heck of a middle reliever for this team. It's absurd how good they are. They're 27-1, and they are the number one team. They just went to former number one Ole Miss, swept them, pounded them. Just went to, Vanderbilt, which was number 3 in one poll this week, but they've been number 1 or number 2 this year. Just absolutely dominated them. This is the national championship favorite. That's one story. The bat is the other story.
Well, and the bat was quite the story. I mean, there were signs over the weekend as well. Some of the comments made by Tennessee players, they hit the home run right after the bat incident, and I can't remember who it was now that hit the home run. And he comes back and just starts running down. He touches home plate, examines the bat, and throws it aside. There's a lot of feistiness out of this Tennessee baseball team as well, including an interesting quote yesterday from Drew Gilbert about, hey, when you're stepping on somebody's throat, the crowd seems to get a little quieter out there. I believe it was you that asked that question.
Yeah, he was almost done with his session, and Drew was good, but he's one of those guys who Drew Gilbert is one of those between the lines that, between the lines, he's as trash talky and just intense a guy as there is. And then, he's pretty soft-spoken and chill, doing his talking to media or whatever, just once the game's over. So I asked him just about how it got more quiet, because it did. Like, in that stadium Friday night, it was so intense, so emotional, so much screaming. I mean, there's pure dislike between these two programs, the fan bases, all that stuff, right? I mean, by Sunday, it seriously was just, the whistler wasn't even whistling. It was just like, Tennessee's winning. I mean, it was, Tennessee sucked the life out of the place. They really did. So, yeah, I asked him that, and he gave that quote, and I said, as soon as I said to Gentry, Mike Wilson, hey, none of you use that. You're not allowed to use that quote. That quote is embargoed from me.
That's
or
right.
You have to pay me to use that quote. But, of course, everybody immediately tweeted the quote.
Of course they did.
Yeah. And then right at the same time as we're talking, across the way, Tim Corbin is saying, I just want to take a hammer and hit myself over the head with it. So what a weekend. I still look like Vanderbilt. They're 4-5. I mean, they have lost 4 in a row in the SEC, so it's. I'm not saying it's not time to be concerned.
They're going to be
fine.
But
I think they're going to be fine. Their starters were good, and I think their starters are going to be just fine. They've got plenty of arms. They've got to get it going, hitting. But again, I just look at this more that it's more about Tennessee and the excellence of their pitching. But the bat stuff is it's bigger than this series. It's a very, very weird situation. I spent the entire weekend, because I'm sitting there Friday night like, okay, so what's the outcome here? Like, how does this work? So I spent all weekend trying to talk with the SEC and figure out how this works. And it's just it's a stupid system. Like, you can't you can't have a situation where the ump takes the bat and manager's coming out screaming, or the coach coming out screaming at the umps and give me the bat and you go back and take it off the board. And then yesterday, as we're doing our availability, they take the bat and hand it back to Tennessee. Thanks. We'll go home with this bat.
Yeah.
Is it bad or is it not? Like, is there punishment or not? This is my question for the SEC. I told Herb Vincent, I'm like, so all weekend, Jordan Beck is getting screamed at. He's getting screamed at by Vanderbilt fans. You cheater! Did your mom know you? All weekend, he's a cheater. You're getting booed and all this stuff. Well, if he had a totally fine bat and the sticker fell off, shouldn't we find that out?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be good to validate him? And the flip side is, if the bat is in fact, was in fact altered, shouldn't it be tested? Shouldn't there be punishment? Shouldn't you try to deter people from doing these things? I don't. It's weird. To me, it's weird. Like, if you're going to have these machines, they have a machine that does it. I learned a lot about bat altering this weekend. You got a machine that does a compression test, because the compression has to be a certain thing. Again, you can like roll bats and do different things to basically get a little bit more power out of them. We're not talking like the old school, like Howard Johnson, smashing tennis balls into his bat, which, by the way, I love Hojo. I'm still upset that the Tigers traded him to the Mets in 1985. But This is, there's things you can do with aluminum bats to basically give you, what 30 more feet on your fly ball. But hey, that might mean 3-4 warning track shots that become home runs in a given year. And for a given player who's trying to get to the, these things happen. People try to find edges. So if it's a big enough deal to have a compression test and have these stickers and have this whole thing where you can have a situation like we saw Friday, why then is it like, oh, and by the way, okay, see you later. Here's the bat. Bye. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Why is there no outcome? I don't understand. And to be clear on this is an NCAA thing. So this is not like it's just the SEC. The SEC has been doing stickers since 2015, but this is an NCAA. They govern all of this. So it's them. So be surprised that it makes no sense and is weird and, it leaves everybody dissatisfied. But to me, should be a situation where something changes in that way, because what's going to happen, and I'm already seeing it, all the Vanderbilt fans saying what? Oh, the cheating Vols with their dirty bats. Hey, look, I mean, fans are going to say what they're going to say, but why not either validate that or not, and punish people if they do something bad, and then make it so other people won't want to do it? Because if I'm a player in college baseball looking at this situation, then I'm really not too bothered about bringing a bat that's non-compliant to the park. And you can have as many as you want in your dugout.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Very weird. We'll continue to take your thoughts on Vanderbilt and Tennessee. A weekend sweep for the Vols at Hawkins Field. 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Looking at cloudy skies for us today with temperatures eventually working their way into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A passing shower will also be possible.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Bank of England Mortgage has been helping Americans live the dream of home ownership for over 100 years. Since their humble beginnings in England, Arkansas in 1898, they've grown into a nationwide mortgage lender with 141 offices across 45 states, including 3 convenient locations right here in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at BOE1214.com. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
Dealing with car problems? At AutoZone, we've got the free services you need to help you get back on the road. Like our AutoZone Rewards program. Members get a $20 reward every time they spend $20 or more 5 times. And if you're looking to reward your engine, start with regular oil changes. They help protect and lubricate your engine parts and keep it running smooth. Visit us at AutoZone.com and start the job fast with free same-day store pickup and free next-day delivery. See terms at AutoZone.com/rewards. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. O'Reilly.
This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross-country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light. and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
You're listening to Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals. Write down their deals, including half off for the Woodhouse Spa, the Mainstay Restaurant, Brooklyn Bowl, plus you can experience a 60-minute float session from Float Horizon for just $39.50. Check out all of Nashville's best deals now at theGameNashville.com/deals. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Talking Tennessee and Vandy baseball, taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Got a texter that says, this comes from Lance on the text line, wow, y'all are acting like the Vols won the College World Series. It's coming from Lance on the text line.
Well, Lance, they did not win the College World Series. However, if you tell me right now this team will win the College World Series, I'm not going to be surprised. This is the favorite to win the College World Series. Long way to go. But look at those pitching numbers, not just this weekend, throughout the year. It's been consistent. Again, obviously Tony Vitello is a great recruiter, and he's out there. He's getting kids who are making tough choices. That's what you have to do. It's what Tim Corbin has been doing for a long time. You got to get kids who are making that tough choice between just going right to the pros or going to college. And plenty of, Tennessee's had some guys who opted for the pros. Vanderbilt's had a lot of those over the years, but you get some of those guys in. So Chase Burns, huge recruit, but you get the Georgia, you get the Georgia Southern transfer, you get the kind of banged up kid who all of a sudden just emerges, and you've got already a really good roster. They just get better and better every year. They went to Omaha last year, so it's not like this is some uncharted territory. Like, this is the best team in college. They're 27-1. They're 9-0 in the SEC. They're destroying everyone. This is not made up fairy tale stuff. They are crushing everyone.
Yeah, look, there's obviously a long way to go, and we're a long way from the College World Series, but they're 27-1. You got to give them credit for what they've done, and they've been incredible so far in the last two weekends against Ole Miss and now against Vanderbilt. Sweeping those two teams and doing it in the fashion where Tennessee did, where quite frankly it wasn't just a sweep. They totally dominated Ole Miss and totally dominated Vanderbilt. It's pretty impressive what they've been able to do. Devin from Dover texting in says, Mike Honcho, baby, that sticker didn't keep Vandy from getting their butts kicked. They need to learn how to field a pop fly before they worry about our bats. This coming from Devin from Dover on the text line. What's some adventures out there at times for Vanderbilt in the field, especially Friday night. There's a couple balls that dropped for pop flies. On Saturday, you had a chance to get out of an inning. You throw the ball back to second base. All you have to do is make a tag, and instead you try to throw it back home. And just some uncharacteristic errors from Vanderbilt over the weekend as well. And they were talking about this on the SEC Network broadcast. At times, just didn't look like Vandy baseball defensively.
Yeah, for sure. That was a weird inning, and I think it was and of course Corbin after the game was like, catch the ball. But I think that was a twilight inning. So They just kind of, it was very weird. You got your right fielder at the fence, and you get the ball dropping, like a shallow pop fly, in the grass. So they had some bad luck with that. But I agree. They didn't play clean baseball. They made some base running mistakes. They had some fielding mistakes. I thought they had too many at bats where they didn't battle. But again, when I say they didn't battle, they didn't hang in there. They didn't drive up pitch counts at all. This is also, again, credit to the Tennessee pitching, in at least in that way. But I agree, they made too many mistakes. And I think some of this is, Tennessee jumped on them in every game, and they were feeling it. They were feeling a little bit of the pressure, I think. I think some of that can be attributed to playing a really good opponent, and maybe you get a little bit outside yourself, or you're just, you're trying to compensate for what the other side's doing to you. So it'll be interesting to see how Vanderbilt responds to this. They've got to get a W and turn it around. I would again say I think that their starting pitching was encouraging and something to build on. They got to get the offense going.
They do, and look, I have full confidence in Tim Corbin and the Vanderbilt baseball program. They're going to get it figured out at some point, and they're going to be right there in the mix again when it comes down to the SEC tournament and heading into the postseason play as well. It is interesting, though, like we've talked about this before on the show. They're in an interesting spot. You lose a weekend series to South Carolina, and now you've been swept by the Vols, and you can kind of hear it in Tim Corbin's voice. I mean, he's always been this way. He hates losing. I don't know that I've ever encountered anyone that hates losing more than Tim Corbin does, and that was on full display once again this weekend. So, look, like I said, I've got full confidence that they're going to figure things out, but you could hear it in Tim Corbin's voice a little bit this weekend. He was not happy with the result of this weekend series against Tennessee.
No, not at all. And he is a famously, is he a bad loser? He's a famously unhappy loser. That is for sure. And
he's salty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's very different. Like Friday, it took everything to get it to 2 minutes with the post game with him, which worked out because then, like I know Gentry and I, for example, we were able to run across the field and get to the entire Tony Vitello press conference. And the same with the last couple of days. I went Tennessee. You had to make a choice usually. Corbin was fast, but look, he's. It's an interesting situation. It's an interesting situation to have Tennessee be this great. I still think, ultimately, Vanderbilt recruits from all over the country. They're going to be fine. But there's probably, some kids in this state that maybe would have been almost gimmies for Vanderbilt, who now, they got a really good alternative to the East. And that does make it interesting. I mean, you expect that there would be some recruiting battles and some recruits that Vanderbilt won't get because they're going to Tennessee now, which is interesting. So, I mean, like there's great programs all up and down the SEC every year. Sure. I mean, how many national title contenders are in the SEC every year? 6?
Yeah.
Hey, that's how it is. So you're recruiting against them too, regionally for kids in the South. So I don't know if maybe it's too much made of it just because it's a rivalry, but it does seem like it's a little bit more of an annoyance when it's Tennessee who gets this good for Vanderbilt.
I got a texter that says, it seems odd that the TV announcer said there was a wrong sticker on the bat, but Tennessee's coach said it fell off during batting practice. This is coming from a texter on the text line.
So right now, as we speak, I am posting 1,800 words on this series at theathletic.com. And I get into all that stuff, but if you want to boil it down, they have to have stickers. And before the series, before a series, you have the bats verified. And if they have stickers on them, then they can be used in the series. Well, Jordan Beck's bat had an old sticker from like a midweek game. It did not have a new sticker. After the game, he told us the sticker fell off during BP, and he didn't think much of it. And then when they were checking the bat, he's in the dugout like, oh, crap, the sticker came off. Now, some people would say, and I looked at one of the bats, and if the sticker is put on correctly, I'd say it's like there's no way it should come off. Like they are, it's like you may never get the sticker off the bat.
Yeah, get your keys out and dig it out. Yeah.
So that's weird. And Tennessee's supposed to put the stickers on. The two schools put them on themselves. So, the sticker thing is definitely weird. Obviously, things can happen. You can have like a bad adhesive or something like that. I don't know, but that whole thing was weird. And again, the whole thing with, okay, if you have a bat, like to me, once you take that bat, why not test it, to see if that bat actually is like an altered bat.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a fine bat that just for whatever reason didn't have the sticker fell off, but the bat's compliant. Okay, great. Then I'd test it and give it right back to them. But instead they just hold it all weekend. And here you go. Okay, thanks. Bye. What? Like, I understand, like, you don't want to spend your weekend testing bats, but you have the equipment to test the bats because that's been invested in. This is NCAA mandated, testing. The SEC put out a memo this week saying, make sure everybody keeps your stickers on, because this happened for an Auburn game where they took a bat away. And I was going back and forth with Herb Vincent yesterday. Like, so why don't you guys want an outcome with these things? And he didn't really have an answer. One of his emails started with all due respect. So, I mean, that basically tells you, tells you. Eventually I got very annoying for Herb Vincent, but it's weird. Again, this is not, I mean, this should not be considered any factor in Tennessee obliterating Vanderbilt. Okay. This is about pitching more than anything. And it's one at bat, one home run taken off the board. But I promise you, for the team that's leading the NCAA in home runs, this is going to follow them because other fan bases are going to make sure it follows them. And to me, if I'm Tennessee, I would also rather be cleared. And even if not cleared, if it's one bat that's bad, okay, fine. It's been taken care of, move forward, versus this like weird thing where we really don't know still what the deal was with the bat. It's pretty stupid.
It is. With all due respect, Rexrode, shut up is what that guy was saying.
Yes. Pretty much.
Oh. They get another Talladega Nights reference. We could go Talladega Nights all day long here on the program if we need to.
Hey, I don't think we have enough Talladega Nights on the program.
I don't think so either. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Tough loss for the Predators over the weekend. We'll get your thoughts on that as well coming up next. Speaking of the Predators, season tickets for the Preds 2022-23 season are on sale now. Full, half, and quarter season plans are available. You can join the Loyal Legion today and receive the best seat locations, priority access to 2022 Stanley Cup playoff tickets as well. And as a season ticket citizen, your tickets for round 1 of the Cup playoffs will be up to 20% lower than your regular season price. Tickets for round 2 of the playoffs will be the same as your regular season price. So that's something you're going to want to check out. Season ticket citizens also receive season-long benefits, including concession discounts, Nashville locker room discounts, pre-sales to shows at Bridgestone Arena, saving on Preds Foundation events, and much more. You can learn more at NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. Once again, that's NashvillePredators.com/season tickets.
The voice of reason.
Now, you may say, well, a quarterback is more important than a running back. That's fine. You can say whatever you want.
The voice of the fan.
Even if we have to develop him while he's playing, I just want a boring first-round pick.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Harman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Harman Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Music City. Start a profitable new chapter of your life and be your own boss with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. In fact, no matter where you are, from Green Hills to the Gulch to down in Franklin, if you can hear my voice, there's an affordable, profitable Little Guys franchise opportunity nearby. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Join a team with 30 plus years of growth and good times. Learn more at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com. And then make that call.
Spring is in the air, and that means all kinds of fun in the sun is just around the corner. But But if you're feeling low energy, if you've put on weight and just aren't getting the gains from your workouts, if you aren't sleeping well and your libido isn't what it used to be, maybe you aren't looking forward so much to sunny days and shirtless weather. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if this sounds like you, we might very well have the answer, because you may very well be suffering from low testosterone. And that, my friend, is something that can be effectively treated to get you back to the guy you used to be. The Tennessee Men's Clinic has treated thousands of men for low T. Our treatment programs are highly effective, with most men seeing results in just a few weeks. Assuming you're like most guys, you'll sleep better, have better workouts, have higher energy, and your sex life might just improve as well. So give us a call. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090. Or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra. Results vary.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Ottawa Senators this Thursday night. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, hour number 2 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode and Michelle Knezvik. Intern Nick here with you as well on this Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Joe? Ugly loss for the Predators on Friday against the Buffalo Sabres. They fall 4-3 against Buffalo. It was an emotional night in Buffalo. Rick Jeanneret, their longtime play-by-play guy, basically having his version of a jersey retired. They had a ceremony in the pregame for him, rose a banner up to the rafters there for him, and he obviously is a very popular figure in Buffalo, meant a lot to the Buffalo Sabres, still does mean a lot to that organization. So there was some juice that Buffalo had coming out of the gate, and they got out to an early lead in that game. The Predators eventually, even though it was a weird game, kind of a weird first period, it was 3-3 after 1 on Friday for the Predators. And ultimately, Buffalo scores again in the third. They make it 4-3, and the Predators, honestly, they just never really threatened all that much in that game, and they lose on the road to Buffalo 4-3. And I said this after the game on Friday as well. I know that last week, on the whole, you get 4 out of 6 points. So certainly the results were okay last week, getting 4 out of 6 points. The way that they have played as of late, they have not been very good. For the last couple of weeks, they've looked like a pretty average at best hockey team. And now you're sitting here finding yourself in the standings with the weekend's action concluded. Vegas has now tied you in points. Dallas is 1 point behind you as well. With the good thing about the Stars is now you're at even on games played. So you're 1 point ahead of the Stars at this point, but you've lost your breathing room with them. And Vegas has tied you. Now they have played 3 more games than you have as well. So you have that going for you. The playoff odds are still at 83.3% for the Predators, according to MoneyPuck.com. But I do not like the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks. And my question for you, Joe Rexrode, is it time for concern for this Predators team based on the way that they have looked over the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think you're right. Just over, even with some of the wins, you know, for example, the Ottawa win, it wasn't a great game, which John Hines said right afterward. I would say over this stretch, it hasn't been very good. So concern, yes, understanding that this happens, that you go through certain stretches of ups and downs, and they've all teams do. I mean, this is what happens in an 82-game season. But I still think, I mean, if you want to talk about concern, I think I'm continue to go back to UC Saros. Not that he's like terrible or anything, but he has to be better than fine. He has to be better than pretty good or good. He has to be. That's like a prerequisite for this team to really do anything. And it's been a decent stretch here for the most part. He's been okay, but he's not quite top sharpness. And there's just some pucks getting past him that you hope don't. And I think it starts there. And I hear you. Like it's how do you just basically just not really get much going at Buffalo, which by the way has had a lot of big wins lately.
They have.
It looked like the other night, like they were like celebrating their own playoff series win with that victory. So it wasn't your typical, a game against a team near the bottom of the standings, but that is concerning that you don't get much going in a game that's so important to you, that you fought back at one point to tie. But I still think it's Saros more than you start there and then go to everything else.
Well, and the big part of this also is you look at the schedule that you've got coming up. You got Minnesota tomorrow, which is going to be a huge game here. You're at Ottawa on Thursday, and then it's Florida and Pittsburgh back-to-back this weekend before you get into a stretch of, Edmonton, St. Louis, Calgary twice, another game with Minnesota, Tampa, Colorado. Like there's a ton of games left that are very, very challenging when you look at the standings right now. I mean, look, I say the Minnesota game is huge. I mean, right now they're 9 points up on you with the same amount of games played. So I don't really know that catching Minnesota at this point is really all that realistic anymore. But you look at the standings, like you got to find a way to win some of these games because your quality of competition coming down the stretch is really, really high. And that's why I think the loss to Buffalo stings a little bit more is you look at the schedule, you may need every point you can get coming down the stretch here if you're the Predators, and to let two of them slide by like that against Buffalo wasn't good. Look, like you said, Buffalo's been playing well as of late. They've taken down Toronto. They've taken down Pittsburgh. They've taken down a bunch of really good teams in the East over there. So I'm not going to – they beat Calgary. I mean, they beat a lot of really good teams as of late. So Buffalo is playing much better, but with a playoff spot on the line coming down the stretch, I just didn't see much push out of the Predators on Friday, and that was disappointing.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, Minnesota, it's a huge game just because every game is huge, but it's against a really good team. I mean, Minnesota is, they're still fighting St. Louis, for second place and home ice in the first round. Yeah, it would take something pretty amazing for the Preds to end up catching that. But I mean, that's the thing. Minnesota, I mean, what are they? 9-0-1 of their last 10.
Yeah,
I mean, they're absolutely tearing it up. But that's just that's the thing. You get that game becomes it's a lot harder game. You can't afford to not get your 2 points in that game when you blow a game against Buffalo, and most of these good teams that you're playing down the stretch too, they have stakes. I mean, Florida, they're fighting for the 1 seed in the East with Carolina. So, I mean, they've got big incentive. I mean, Pittsburgh is in there trying to get home ice in the first round. It's either them or the Rangers probably. What a series that'll be in the first round. So, I mean, there's a lot of really good teams fighting for a lot. They're going to be very difficult games to win. And that's why you have one more game left on the schedule where maybe that's good, I guess. You could look at it that way. One more game against a team that just is playing out the string. Well, maybe you have Chicago too, one more time, right?
Yep. Maybe
it's good. If you're playing, better teams that are like there's no chance of weirdness. It's just like these are huge games. It's a playoff push. Consider this to be just like the playoffs. But the bottom line is they just have to play better, and you have to hope that UC Saros gets back to maximum sharpness.
Well, now we're talking 2 games in a row now where there's not been a point from Roman Josi, which is incredible. Like, there can't be too many games this year where he's gone through a 2-game stretch and not put up a point. And I'm not saying that like that's the reason that they've been struggling as of late, but I mean that just kind of
there's your issue.
Yeah, they had 59. Take him out. Put him on the waiver wire. But
maybe third parent.
Yeah,
maybe,
slide him down 10 minutes a night, no more. But it's one of those things too. Like we've talked about it. Like Forsberg's been scoring Duchesne's been scoring. Yossi's been playing at an elite level. And they're still, like, they need all of it just to be in the spot that they're in right now, which is a wild card spot, holding on to the playoffs. Like, if you don't have it, like if Forsberg and Duchesne slow down, and I know that Forsberg scored on Friday and Duchesne had a couple of points, but, like, I didn't think they were all that threatening 5-on-5. Like, if those guys slow down and Roman Josi slows down a little bit, like, they've been so good all year, and you're in a wild card spot. What does that mean if they're not quite as good coming down the stretch? And it's interesting to think about, especially when you combine it with Saros, as you pointed out.
Well, you just described a non-playoff team.
Yeah.
Now, they may have done the work to still get in, but they certainly could still be on the other side of it. I mean, would you say 83%? What is that, money puck?
Yeah, money puck, 83%.
So that's at least a 10% drop in a week, right?
Yeah. A week in which they won 2 out of 3 games.
There you go. But that team with everything else, I mean, basically, again, the most consistent elements of this team have been, those 2 forwards, Josi, the herd line, and the herd line. And now with Saros kind of struggling, you can take him off the list. When he was first half Saros, this was a team that was, remember, they were 1 in the West for a minute.
Yeah.
They were certainly fighting to have home ice in the playoffs, and now you're talking about absolutely scrapping at the very bottom of the list to get in. So it's not great. And if that does happen, if you do see a slowdown with these top guys who have been dragging this team along throughout the season, I don't have a lot of confidence that there's enough to compensate for that in this forward group.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on the Predators on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. How concerned are you about the way the Predators have been playing the last couple of weeks? 615-737-1025. The final night of this crazy college basketball season is here, and FanDuel Sportsbook giving new customers a $150 instant bonus guaranteed. That's right, you'll get $150 in bonus site credit, and all you have to do is place your first bet of $5 or more. How you bet the championship game is up to you. You can choose from the money line, totals, prop bets, and so much more. North Carolina taking on Kansas. It's been an incredible run for North Carolina, Hubert Davis and company, but I think it comes to an end tonight. I think Kansas is the more talented team. I think they have what it takes to get it done. But you take it any way you want to take it. Just make sure you join FanDuel today with promo code ROB. Then you can place your bet of $5 to score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. Once again, that promo code is ROB, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with the athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. The Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Sign up at theGameNashville.com/golf.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Hey, it's Jared from my friends at Hiller. Hiller is giving away free vacations for you and your family this month. With every purchase of a new whole home generator or select new HVAC systems, Hiller is giving you a free week-long vacation. With every purchase of a new tankless water heater, they're going to give you a free weekend vacation. And they're giving you a Visa Rewards card to help pay for gas to get you there. Choose from over 400 Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton, or Hyatt hotel properties. Take advantage of this unbelievable deal while you can. These deals are only available for a limited time, so schedule today. Visit happyhiller.com for all of the details.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Hey, it's Elijah Campbell from Darren, Donick, and Chase, and I got my radio start right here as an intern at ESPN 1025 The Game. It was an excellent experience, and we're now looking for new interns. If you think that's you, go ahead and send your resume over to together@cromwellmedia.com to apply.
This is a metaphor for your business's journey. Sometimes it feels like the course keeps changing right before your eyes. And in order to maneuver it, you need an expert by your side. That's what Dell Technologies advisors do. They have the Windows PC and tech solutions you need to help you get out in front and stay ahead of the game. Call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. A start to a simpler experience with Windows 11 Pro.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Johansson in on the draw, pulls it back. Yossi, throw it across in front, and Anderson is down on the blue ice and was able to tie up the puck with help from a teammate.
Tough loss for the Predators on Friday. They fall 4-3 at the hands of the Buffalo Sabres. Taking your thoughts on the Predators on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Speaking of the Predators, make sure you stop by Social Furniture at 5412 Charlotte Avenue in Nashville and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Preds take on the Chicago Blackhawks coming up at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday, April the 16th. Also, don't forget to check out their new sofas while you're in there. You must be 18 to enter the contest. No purchase necessary. Joe, it's an interesting week here for the Predators. Taking on Minnesota tomorrow in a big game at Bridgestone Arena, then on the road for one game against an Ottawa team that gave you some fits last week, even though you ended up winning the game 4-1, and then a back-to-back this weekend with Florida and Pittsburgh. At home against Florida coming up on Saturday at 5 o'clock, on the road against Pittsburgh on Sunday at 3 o'clock. I mean, there's a heck of a stretch coming up for the Predators. Now, the good news is you fast forward to next week as well, and even though you have San Jose, Edmonton, Chicago, St. Louis, Calgary, they're all in a row. They're all at home. It's a 5-game homestand coming up for the Predators, after this week. So it is an interesting part of the schedule in terms of the quality of competition. Got a lot of home games coming up, though. Only Ottawa, Pittsburgh, Tampa, Colorado, and Arizona are on the road left to close out the season. So going to be a lot of hockey at Bridgestone Arena for the Predators, and they've got to take advantage of that. Now, the interesting part about that is they've been a pretty good road team this year, and they've been decent at home. This is a chance for you to up that home record a little bit as well.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see, can the atmosphere get a little bit of a bump, I would say it hasn't been vintage, absolute best, top shelf atmosphere a lot of nights, and it's still been very good. But does that get a bump? Does that get cranked up a bit because it's the playoff chase? I mean, certainly got some really appealing, you get Florida, which might be the best team.
Yeah.
You got your division rivals like Minnesota and St. Louis. Calgary's really good. They come in twice. And, of course, you got Mick what's his name, too? Will be
McMuffin.
Will be passing through. You said it, not me. What did Subban used to call him?
I think he called him McJesus.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Did Subban make that up? Did he come up with that?
I don't think he made that up, but that's very popular now in the NHL with him.
Yes.
He's pretty good.
Yes. He's all right, yeah.
April in Portland texting in on the text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com says, Jussi has been okay lately, but not great. I thought he played well in Buffalo. It could have been way worse. The D pairs have not done well as of late. We need Boro and Fabro back ASAP. The entire team has been atrocious defensively the last 2 weeks. Turnovers are killing us. The Preds play worse against bad teams and play phenomenal against good teams. So I'm hoping that's the way they are down the stretch. Yossi for Norris. This coming from April from Portland on the text line.
Yeah, are they phenomenal? They have had a lot of good performances. I mean, they've probably had too many performances against bad teams this year, and they've definitely had some notable, really good performances against top teams. So maybe it is good. Maybe you'd prefer to play good teams. Whether you would or not, that's what you've got. So here you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the table that's set for you at this point. And to April's point, like, I do think like they need to be healthy defensively, because right now, I mean, they've just got guys playing not in the right spot. Like, you've got Carrier up with Yossi, and they've got Lozon playing, with Ekholm in the top 4 right now. Like, they need Fabro back, especially, to kind of get guys back on the right seat of the bus, as Barry Trotz used to say. Like, you got to get the right pieces playing in the right spots. And, it's not all on the defensemen. Like, I still think for the most part, 5-on-5, they've been okay defensively. Their penalty kill has gone in the tank as of late. And, we've talked about how many penalties they've taken all year long. Like, that's a problem when you can't kill those off. And, Borowiecki's obviously very important to that. They need him back. You need Fabro back to eat up some of those minutes with Yossi. I think if you get Fabro back, you're probably putting him back with Yossi, and then you're putting Carrier back with Ekholm, and things start to look a lot better at that point. But right now, they have been a little bit of a mess at times, especially with the turnovers. Like, the defensive zone, I still don't – like, they're not getting picked apart in the defensive zone 5-on-5, I don't think. But the turnovers with the puck are a problem, and they're not good enough to overcome those type of mistakes. If you're a Tampa, you can get away with that a little bit more. If you're the Predators, you got to make sure you're taking care of the puck, and that's been very hit or miss as of late.
Why do you think the penalty kill is struggling?
They're probably tired. I don't know. Like, just
because they're heavy usage.
Yeah, just going. I mean, you're 68 games into the season. You've been taking penalties all year. I don't know. Like, it's one of those. Look, and Borowiecki is a big part of that. You're just now getting Benning back in there. He's been a big part of the penalty kill. So there are reasons for it, and sometimes you just go through lulls when you're out there that much. It's hard to be on top of your game at the penalty kill all the time. But special teams, their power play still is pretty good. Like, we know how important special teams is as you get into the playoffs. Like, they've got to find a way to shore that up. And I get it. Like, there's this idea out there from fans that, well, don't worry. Like, playoff time comes around, they don't call penalties in the playoffs anymore, which is, I get it. They're a little bit more relaxed on the whistle in the playoffs. They will still call penalties in the playoffs. And many times the difference in who advances in the playoffs and who doesn't is how do you execute on special teams. And that's got to get better for the Predators right now on the penalty kill side of things. Power play, I still feel pretty good about if I'm the Preds.
Yeah, and as for Yossi for Norris, April, can't have those massive stretches of 2 games in a row without points.
Yeah.
Is he off the 100-point pace? That's the thing, though. That pace is such a hard pace to follow, to maintain. He needs a 5-pointer here.
Yeah. I got a text that says, Forsberg doesn't sign at the trade deadline, and the team is now in a slump. The players know he'll be gone after the season. It's been a letdown to the team because it's a tight team with players being selfish. Yes, it's a business, and they all know, but the move likely stings. There are injuries, but that doesn't look like the issue over the past few games, which are more about bad starts. Bad starts are team dynamics and not injuries. These are unintended circumstances of his actions. If he really wants to stay here, he needs to ink the deal now and hope that they can pull out of this in the 11th hour. So Philip Forsberg not signing the contract apparently is just totally destroyed the Predators coming down the stretch.
So first of all, that I've never seen Forsberg spelled 4Fsberg, but I kind of like that. So here's the thing on all that. If Forsberg, if they actually know, like if Forsberg is actually let them know, yeah, guys, let's enjoy this time together because I'm somewhere else.
Which he is
then
not,
actually, right. Like, but that's like, I could buy then there being some correlation between the trading deadline, lack of news, and the current play. But there's no indication that that's what has happened. And I highly, highly, highly doubt that's what happened. So I think we're talking about a coincidence here. I don't think this team, I mean, look, all these guys want Forsberg. All these guys who are around this team are going to be here next year. They want Forsberg back, right? Unless there's some personal issue we don't know about with somebody who really wants him to move on and get the heck out of here.
Really don't like that mustache.
Yeah, could be. But I don't think it's going to, cause them to play poorly because they're worried about it. I mean, everybody's got their own thing. Everybody knows contract stuff happens in this league, and it's certainly possible that Forsberg will sign at any point. So I think you're tying things together that don't really belong together.
Well, and to that point, if they get down the stretch here and they keep playing this way, making the playoffs is going to be a challenge just based on the schedule that they have. You get all the way through this, and there's no contract for Forsberg, and there's no playoffs to show for it either. That's when you're going to see people, number one, start to freak out, and number two, start to be pretty mad of how things have played out here. So, look, there is some pressure on this team to make the playoffs with Philip Forsberg. Like, until he signed his contract, it's always going to be in the back of your mind, if you're a player, a fan, whoever, that there's a chance he may not be here next year. Now, it's been quiet on that front since the deadline. We'll see what happens with Forsberg, but there is, until he's signed on that dotted line, there is some pressure on that front coming down the stretch here.
Oh yeah. You think about that scenario, and all of a sudden they're out of the playoffs and no Forsberg signed, and I guess basically everybody will turn and look at David Poile and say, "You again!" And here come the pitchforks out. Just turn around and run down the street, and the entire Predators fan base is chasing him through the streets of Nashville.
You again.
We're mad at you again, David Boyle.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. It's time for you to know your numbers. If you answer correctly, you'll qualify to win a pair of tickets to the Arca Menard NASCAR Infinity Series doubleheader coming up on Saturday, April 23rd, and a pair of tickets to the Geico 500 on Sunday, April 24th as well. Hit up our text line for the answer to today's question. It features all former drivers, Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s number 3, plus Dale Jr.'s number 8, plus Matt Kenseth's number 17, equals this Alabama driver. Again, Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s number 3, Dale Jr.'s number 8, Matt Kenseth's number 17, equals this Alabama driver. If you know the answer, hit up our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Our winner will be contacted on Friday after the show is over. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 6, we go behind the glass with current and former Predators players, along with coaches and broadcasters for Nashville Live.
Yos, Hal and I were just talking about last night's game. It was a big game for us.
Presented by New Amsterdam Vodka, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, and Red Spirits and Wine on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Hey guys, it's the new year. Are you still struggling with erectile dysfunction? I've yet to meet anyone that enjoys timing those intimate moments around a pill. Well, now you don't have to. The advanced wave technology at Hillside Medical has been shown by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic to restore and even regrow blood vessels. It can improve circulation and eliminate erectile dysfunction. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us in the next 2 minutes and you'll receive a consultation, assessment, and blood flow ultrasound free, plus a special gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. You're going to love that. Trust me. This is a $600 value, free to callers now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, get rid of your ED and get that spark back. Call Hillside Medical now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
Hockey fans, tune in to Robby and Rexrode every Wednesday morning at 9:30 for expert commentary on the Predators and the NHL with the Preds beat writer from The Athletic, Adam Vingan. Brought to you by the Bank of England Mortgage.
CSX, a growing Fortune 500 logistics company, has immediate openings for freight train conductors. If you're looking for a rewarding career offering paid training at nearly $25 per hour, competitive benefits, and you share a passion for great service, apply today at csx.com/careers. That's csx.com/careers. CSX, committed to supporting military and veteran families and their communities. CSX is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Sarah's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
Driving cross country with 2 young children is ambitious, to say the least. Then our check engine light came on. We pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts and they tested it. Turned out it was a faulty sensor. They referred us to a great mechanic just down the street and we were back on the road in no time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good. Really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Greg McElroy, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The Nashville Sounds start their season tomorrow with a 6-game homestand at First Horizon Park against the Durham Bulls. You can catch all the action on Sounds Baseball on ESPN 94.9 tomorrow night, starting with the pregame show with Jeff Him at 6:20 and first pitch at 6:35. Sounds Baseball on ESPN 94.9, presented by 312 Pizza, Farm Bureau Health Plans, Spirited Hive, and Days Delta 8. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezvik, intern Nick here with you on this Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Got the Rex Rant coming up at 7:45. I am very much looking forward to Joe Rexrode's Rant of the Week coming up here in just about 15 minutes. Right now, taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. So, Joe, the A.J. Brown rumors continue to be out there, and Rich Cimini from ESPN putting it out there in a blog post on ESPN yesterday talking about DK Metcalf and A.J. Brown, and could the New York Jets be looking to make a splashy move at the wide receiver position? And in the article, it says, quote, the hot names are Seattle Seahawks DK Metcalf and Tennessee Titans A.J. Brown, both of whom only have 1 year left on their rookie contracts and are up for mega extensions. The the receiver market has exploded in recent weeks, prompting Seahawks general manager John Schneider to express some sticker shop. It later goes on to say in this article, says, quote, it takes 2 to tango, and the Seahawks are telling teams that Metcalf isn't available, a source said. Brown is the name to watch, as mentioned 2 weeks ago, because of the Titans' tight salary cap situation. This coming from Rich Cimini on ESPN. So what do you make of A.J. Brown's name continuing to being tossed out there by Rich Cimini here from ESPN of maybe a trade target for the Jets? And obviously we talked last week, John Robinson been very vocal about wanting to sign A.J. Brown. What do you make of all this coming out of New York about A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf?
See, so first of all, Rich Cimini, very good reporter, has been doing it a long time. So, I think things that have to do with the Jets, you have to take it seriously. What I want when I read this is, okay, so you've got a source that is telling you that basically that Seattle's probably unlikely, right? Seahawks are telling teams Metcalf isn't available. Okay. Then you go to Brown is the name to watch, as mentioned 2 weeks ago, because the Titans tight cap situation. But I'm not getting a Brown is the name to watch because the Titans are actually interested in even having this discussion.
Right.
Like it comes short of that. So I guess my read on this, and this is all speculation, but it's speculation based on being old and being in this business a long time. It sounds like the Jets are hopeful, but I don't see anything in this that, like the Jets are hopeful and the Jets are looking at Tennessee as a more likely or more possible trade partner. But I'm not getting anything here that suggests that the Titans have any interest at all in even engaging in this. Now, if you have a source that says the Seahawks are like saying, forget it, and you don't have the source saying the same thing about the Titans, then okay, then the Titans are, relative to the Seahawks, more likely. But just because the Titans aren't saying forget it, off the table. I mean, if I'm John Robinson, I'm certainly, again, on anything just about, I'm going to take a phone call. Okay, what do you have? What do you want to talk about here? Meanwhile, you have AJ Brown on Twitter like, I'm tired of this too, or whatever he said.
Yeah.
What was his tweet? Like, I'm sick of this too.
Yeah, he said last night, quote, tired of all this, just like y'all, end quote, from AJ Brown.
I saw some like Titans fans like, well, we know you're not getting traded and we're sick of it too. It's like, well, hold on, you don't know. But ultimately, when I look at this whole situation, I think it's going to end up just being one of those, the Jets were hopeful, the Jets were hoping something would happen, and nothing happened. I can't buy that the Titans are going to consider doing this. It would, to me, I'm taking all the calls on John Robinson, but I better have something on the other end that makes my eyes go like, whoa, what are you offering to even consider this?
Well, it just makes no sense from the Titans. Like, you talk about being in a tight salary cap spot, and I get it. Like, I guess the Titans are still in a tight salary cap spot, but A.J. Brown is 24 years old, and he is, if he's not already your best offensive player, which most people I think would still say that belongs to Derrick Henry, he will be your best offensive player someday. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, unless A.J. Brown's asking for, $33 million a year, like, it's difficult for me to imagine the Titans even entertaining anything like this right now at this point. Like, there's so much time left to figure this out with A.J. Brown and his contract that this just seems like a pipe dream from the Jets part of it. That's kind of my read on the situation.
I agree. And let's remember who we're talking about here, okay? The Jets have not exactly been the most savvy
they have not.
team in the league in the last few years in terms of choosing players, trying to make deals, et cetera, et cetera. So, look, I guess I could look at this and say, okay, so from the Jets' perspective, the door isn't closed. But again, I'd keep the phone lines open. I mean, if you're in this business, but I can't believe this is even going to get to the point of a serious discussion about moving AJ Brown. I mean, it's very difficult. You can have all the picks in the world, and it's very difficult to find a player as good as he is. And when you have one, you find a way to keep that player. And as far as the cap stuff, the cap's going to go up. And as we know, the cap is real, but the cap is manipulatable, which is not a word at all. The cap can be manipulated. We know this. And if AJ Brown comes in like mid-20s, to me, that's probably about right. And
well, Gentry Estes from the Tennessean has put up a nice piece on this at the Tennessean at Tennessean.com that I'm kind of reading through right now. But the tweet that Gentry put out is, quote, the offseason rumor mill seems to love A.J. Brown, but so do the Titans. Trading a 24-year-old who's already among the best wide receivers in the game is not what I'd call a winning strategy for any team, and certainly not a team doing a lot of winning lately. So it seems like there's a whole lot of just throwing A.J. Brown's name out there because he's not signed an extension yet at this point. But the Titans have made it pretty clear. I mean, we talked about it, and there were people asking, like, okay, why is John Robinson not, been as strong about Jeffrey Simmons with some of his comments and some other things. I mean, A.J. Brown, and I think the fifth-year option that Jeffrey Simmons brings to the table is part of it too. A.J. Brown obviously doesn't have that, but Jeffrey Simmons right now is not in trade rumors being tossed out there either, like A.J. Brown is. So I think that's probably your answer.
Right. And again, from the Jets' perspective, this makes sense. You're talking about the where he is in his timeline with his contract,
sure,
where the Titans are against the cap, the fact that the Jets, of course, as we know, the Jets they're sitting there that day. Come on, Tyreek, choose us, choose us, choose us. We're the Jets. And he went to South Florida instead. Shocking. So they're out there fishing. They're out there trying to find someone. I don't blame them. I don't blame them for trying. And if they feel better about the Titans and the Seahawks, okay, but they shouldn't feel good about it. I can't believe that this is going to get to the point of a serious discussion. I guess if the Titans, couple things. One, if the Titans figure out that A.J. Brown is like, no, it's like $32 million a year or nothing.
Yeah.
Or like if the Titans were moving toward a rebuild, which of course can happen very fast in this league, well, that's one thing. That's a different situation. But as Gentry said they're winning right now. They're still coming off the number 1 seed in the AFC. Great chance to win their division for a third year in a row. So you keep your good football players.
Well, and if it gets to the point where A.J. Brown's available, there'll be a whole lot of teams in addition to the New York Jets that are going to come calling. I can promise you that.
Right. And so again, hey, phone lines are open. So Jets are offering this. Who's offering what? I mean, you field all the calls and consider it, but it would have to be, to me, like it would have to be like irreconcilable gap in what these sides are thinking on his contract for this to ever really get serious.
Coming next, it's time for the Rex Rant, Joe Rexrode's Rant of the Week. Take your thoughts as well on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Looking at cloudy skies for us today with temperatures eventually working their way into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A passing shower will also be possible.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
FanDuel Sportsbook NBA same-game parlays give you the chance to turn a little bet into a big payday. Choose any NBA game and combine multiple bets into one wager for bigger wins. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code PLAY to bet the NBA today. That's promo code PLAY exclusively on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, permitted parishes only. Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Wyoming, or West Virginia. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
In growing companies, there are two kinds of CFOs. The one overwhelmed with manual processes, errors, and lack of control of the numbers, and the one who uses NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. With visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting, NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. The CFOs that get it. The CFOs that don't. Head to netsuite.com/KJM for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. netsuite.com/KJM.
A show that doesn't pull any punches.
And they win a playoff game and they get to the divisional round and he doesn't give up a sack the rest of the year. I don't give two poops. I'm done.
And has an opinion on everything.
That ref crew that was just terrible. Threw flags on almost every possession.
Jared Stillman hosts Stillman and Company.
Tough guy. He's a really tough guy.
Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6. Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The time is now for the Rex Rant.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
On Robby and Rexrode, here on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Just a small town girl, living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train, going anywhere.
And it is that time of the week. Time for the Rex Rant here on Robby and Rexrode. Joe Rexrode's Rant of the Week. A nice Blink-182 cover band bringing us back in with some Journey. Good stuff. What a combo that is.
Oh, wait, so that's not Blink-182?
It's not. It's a cover band.
Who is it?
I don't know who they are, but I've seen this video. They're pretty good.
So wait, like they actually sell themselves as a Blink-182 cover band?
It was like a Facebook video. I don't know if this is their full-time thing.
And they did Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Yeah, they did. As Blink-182.
Good Lord. Okay.
I love that song.
Yeah, good version.
You like that version of that song?
I like the normal version. I like that version.
Yeah.
That's my okay.
I absolutely love it, Joe. How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel, well, it's fine. I mean, it's fine. You know, you're trying to take over our show today. You called this show Campbell and Knezovic.
You did.
You have the 6. I mean, you have
six.
2 shows on this station. We only have 1. The 6. You know, I mean, this is basically a hostile takeover by Michelle that we're in the middle of right now.
Just gonna sit here and let it happen. It's all good, I guess. She's unable to speak at the moment because she's laughing. So with that in mind, Joe Rexrode, your rant of the week.
And again, you know, Ryan Porth kept the mic open.
See, Ryan's like a hyena, and I just sound like I'm breathing heavy because I laugh, and I'm like...
Michelle's passing out in there.
All right, here's my rant. So I'm driving home late Saturday night, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, game 2. Tennessee beat Vanderbilt, by the way. In case anyone missed it, they won all 3 games.
Yes, they
I
did.
get a low tire pressure alert. You know, and it's like bing, bing. It's like 28, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's 22, and it's 16. You know, you gotta love technology. It used to be that you just would start blowing up on the road, and you'd be trying to keep your car on the road. So I had to get off the highway real fast. Got off. I pulled off. It's very close to where we live, but it's an emergency room parking lot. And, you know, I called AAA, you know, because, well, one, because we're members. We've been members for 20 years. And frankly, I haven't changed a tire in a long time. So I was like, okay, I can sit here and write in my car and do it while I wait. The operator's great, as always, as I'm used to. I mean, it's been a long time, but, you know, whenever we've had to go to AAA, they've been very good. The service is on the way within an hour, but she tells me it should be less than that. So I give about an hour, 10 minutes. I call back. I get the same operator, and she's stunned. She's like, wait a minute. Okay, let me be right back. She comes back a few minutes later, says, okay, the tow truck operator heard 518 on the area code for your phone. Not
That's my area code.
Really?
Yeah, upstate New York, baby.
It's not the right direction.
No, but so if someone says 517, how could you possibly hear 518?
I don't
How would
know.
that be?
I don't know.
Also, apparently the the driver said that he showed up and called. And I can tell you, he did not show up. There was no one. There was no one. He did not show up. He did not call. Oh, I heard 518. Okay, but now he's on the way, I'm told. And again, the operator's great. She's just like hoping this gets done. Okay. So finally, 40 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I mean, I need to get like sleep today. So I get a lift and go home and go to sleep. Okay. And I wake up and there's like a message from this the tow truck guy. Thanks a lot. Like, you were going to come at 4 a.m. So on Sunday, I get it all figured out, get the donut on, the tire's shredded by a chunk of metal. So it's toast. Good times. But shout out to Dustin, who did a great job. Appreciate you, Dustin. Meanwhile, as a 20-year member, I figure I should at least be reimbursed for the lift, right? I mean, I think that's fair. So I call an operator. He starts taking all the information. Then he decides, okay, I need to go talk to someone else. Okay, wait about 10 minutes. Everybody's been in the phone trees. It
Sure.
can be, it can eat at your soul. And then someone gets on the line and said, "Hello, Mr. Rexrode. So you are a resident of Colorado, right?" I'm like, "No, no, I live in Tennessee. I mean, my information is in the system." So he's all confused. He said, "Oh, sorry, we have to get someone who deals with Tennessee residents on reimbursements." So I'm like, "Wait a minute. So in these situations, you have to go state by state. You have to talk to a specific person for a specific state. Like, we can't have a blanket policy of people with this kind of, like, you get reimbursed if service doesn't come. Like, you have to. Okay, all right, wait another 10 minutes on the phone, another 10 minutes. So now I get a woman. Apparently she deals with Tennessee residents. She hears my story for a third time. She says, "Okay, hold on. I'm going to have to transfer you to someone else." Before I can protest, I'm on hold. And then about 15 seconds later, bing, dial tone.
Oh, yeah.
So at this point, I'm out of time. I got to go to Tennessee Vanderbilt. They played again yesterday. Tennessee winning it, by the way. I know a lot of people can relate to this exact experience I just described. We've all been through this, okay? Where you keep getting transferred to people, you don't get the answer you want to hear, you hear something that's just bizarre, and then you get hung up on, okay? And frankly, I think after it happened to me yesterday, I think this is why there are a lot of angry people in the world. I think that actually, I think that this is underrated in why there are a lot of angry people in the world. And do you know what else there is in the world? Competitors of AAA who are about to get a look from me.
There you go. I like the 20 years, no further.
I'm just saying. If you're going to call out a company, you may as well throw a threat out there too,
Who even is AAA's competitor, though?
Oh, they exist.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
I'm researching that today. Thank you for asking. I'll get back to you on
that. Neil on the text line says, "First world problems. Joe can't change a tire." I knew that was coming from somebody.
No, I know. No, I knew that was coming. But listen. First of all, these new fans, I've changed. I bet you in my life I've changed. I think I've changed 4 tires. That's not bad.
That's awesome, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, but with these,
I got to change 4 tires this past year because I keep hitting stuff.
Yeah,
I'm a terrible driver.
You pay for this service. We have 3 drivers in the family now, and if the guy's got the equipment to make it take 10 seconds, like, I'm sorry, you're right. I mean, I'm
with you.
The crap for it, and I deserve it. But like, if we pay for it, then I'm going to spend this time doing work, and then it should be pretty seamless and painless, But I knew that was coming, and frankly, I accept it. I accept your insults.
They've got these, they come up and help you, these heavy-duty jack stands, man. You can pump that thing up quick. Me, I'm sitting here just cranking on the ground with my feet hanging out into traffic. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's not great. That's the thing. Dustin showed up yesterday, and it was serious. Like, thank you. All right, it was like 10 seconds. Like, it would have been an hour of hell.
It's like a NASCAR pit crew.
Oh, yeah.
I also popped a tire, Joe,
nuts,
and I had to do the whole AAA thing too. It's kind of a nightmare. But at least you didn't have groceries in your car, and I was running with my groceries to a gas station and put them in the ice freezer thing. If that makes you feel any better.
Yeah.
Wait, you went to the gas station and put them in like the ice thing?
Yes.
That's outstanding.
My mom just stocked me up on. We went to Walmart big haul for the apartment. This is the first week I moved to Nashville, and we went into the gas station. We're like, could we popped the tire, yada yada, all this stuff. We're waiting for AAA. Can we put our groceries in the thing? They said no, but we did it anyway. My mom's like, oh no, we're putting the groceries in there. We just spent $100 on all this food. We're not letting it go to waste. So yeah, we did that, and then we ran and got our groceries once the tire was fixed.
There you go.
I feel like if your mom wants to red rant, that's some. We need to get your mom on it for a mom red rant.
DJ from Nolansville texting in says Joe should have called Stillman for help. That's a great mental image of Stillman helping you change your tire. We think he can change a tire?
Jared, do you have a ladder? Jared was in Minnesota watching Louisville lose.
He was.
Louisville.
Call him. Louisville lose.
Nate on the text line says, I'm sorry, Joe, not your best rant. Practice changing tires so this doesn't happen. This coming from Nate on the text line. A lot of people taking a shot at you not changing your own tire.
Hey, look, maybe instead of a competitor, it's time to just not pay for this, even though, you got kids out there and stuff. And I think that there's, a certain level of security that you have. Maybe that's the answer. Stop paying for this stuff and just change, and that could do it. But again, if you are paying for it, which we are, then it should come into play when it comes into play. Am I wrong?
I agree. Frank,
you should actually take advantage of what you're paying for.
Frank on the text line says, just get the AAA app and forget talking to a human. This is coming from Frank on the text line. Maybe so. Maybe that's the solution.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like, and maybe that is the way to go, but I think and maybe this is a problem. Maybe I'm a little boomerish here, but I feel like actually speaking to someone, again, the operator, she was really sympathetic and she felt terrible about this. And she was like, I'm going to find someone as fast as possible. I just feel like on the app, you don't get that. Now, maybe.
No, Joe, the app is where to go because they can pinpoint you where you are. And if they have your phone number wrong, it doesn't matter because your phone number's on the app.
On the app. I was going to say on the app you can read the number, so there can't be like some like
518
transfer.
That's actually so weird that's my area code.
It is weird. Also, remember we had a guest that you thought was 615, but his area code is 616, which is West Michigan.
Yeah, and I was typing it in the wrong. I'm like, he's not answering, and I just kept typing it in wrong.
I got a text that says, can we please keep the week-long rants going, please? Stay tuned. See what happens.
Are we doing that this week?
We might be. If the people want it, we'll deliver.
You're not willing to commit to it right now?
If the people want us to do to do a rant every day, by golly, we'll do a rant every day.
Should we do
We're a show for the people. We're the only show in town that will do this for the people.
That's right.
This has been the Rex Rant here on this Monday morning. Joe, better luck with your tire as you move forward here.
Yeah, now it's now you get into the new phase of, oh no, you're going to need a complete set. That's the next thing. No, you're gonna need an entire set. And I would get a whole set here, not just the one tire.
That's right.
That's coming up next.
There's no question.
Well, they got me with that one about 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah. My answer to that is always, no, I don't. Thanks, though. Appreciate you.
I'm good.
Coming up next, we'll be joined by Corey Curtis from News 2. We'll get his thoughts on the Titans and the NCAA tournament as well. That's next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The MTSU Blue Raiders live here.
Down, Middle Tennessee! 3-ball, yes sir!
And when you're in the borough, tune us in on 97.5.
In the end zone, caught, touchdown!
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Time for the Preds Report.
presented by Newton Nissan.
It was a wild game between the Predators and the Buffalo Sabres. That first period, who would have dreamed, 3 goals aside. But the Predators were down 3-2 in the final minute of play when the Predators were able to come up with the tying goal. And then a shot by Lausanne goes up high. Rebound came right in front and put it to the net. Predators have come back to tie it up. Amazing the way that worked out.
Follow the bouncing puck. That's Lausanne, wow. I believe, who's going to get the goal. He was up in the play and got a nice pass from Duchesne. he fires it over the net.
Jeremy Lauzon got the goal, his second of the season from Duchesne and Johansson, but that would be it. One more goal in the game. That came on the power play from Victor Olofsson in the second period. Final 4-3 Buffalo up next. Predators hosting Minnesota Tuesday night.
The best car deals in Smashville start at Newton Nissan. Visit them at Newton Nissan of Gallatin or Newton Nissan South in Shelbyville.
This is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the don't sell without the intel and the guaranteed offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with three-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Pro Golf is back in Middle Tennessee. Mark your calendars for the Simmons Bank Open, May 5th through 8th. You can see the next wave of PGA Tour stars. Be sure to visit the Sand Trap at the 14th hole and check out great local food trucks, including Hattie B's, Hogwood Barbecue, Dream Burger, Padrino Pops, cocktails from Jack Daniels, and try the Sand Trap Cream Ale from New Heights Brewing Company. Purchase your tickets now at SimmonsBankOpen.com.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Good morning!
Morning! Robby and Rexrode mornings from 6 to 10.
It's not bad. Might have to work on that. Not bad. It's a starting point.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
a Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in, hour number 3 of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Monday morning. And we go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. And welcome in our friend Corey Curtis from News 2. Corey, what's going on? How we doing?
I am delightful, just getting another week started with another Ancient Aliens marathon.
Oh, yes. Very nicely done. The hair in that program is something else as well.
I'm going to be that guy for Halloween one year.
Yeah, you should be. It's awesome. So, Corey, what do you make of this A.J. Brown stuff that keeps getting tossed out there? It's rumor season in the NFL, and Rich Cimini from ESPN throwing it out there that maybe the Jets are looking to make a big move at wide receiver. What do you make of all this stuff?
Well, I think more than anything, it's wishful thinking by the Jets. I think that the Jets are trying to will it to happen because they want to bring in Brown or Metcalf or a guy like Deebo Samuel because they're all on the last year of their contract, and they're trying to find out if any of these teams are going to squeal on the price to bring these guys back. And so these names keep coming up. They don't come up from Titans camp. They don't come up from A.J. Brown camp. And his agent, they're purely coming up from the Jets, and the Titans have made it clear they want to bring AJ back. It sounds like Seattle could have a price for DK Metcalf, so maybe they should put their eggs more in that basket. I don't think the Titans have a ton to worry about unless Brown's camp wants a crazy amount of money, and it's all crazy at this point. But then you also have the price that's just the price of doing business in this day and age, and that's what they've got to figure out.
So what? Yeah. So what would you consider crazy or realistic, and something that's right for both sides? Because if I'm on AJ's side, Corey, I say, yeah, okay, you can talk like low 20s or whatever now, but like by the end of that deal, I'm going to rank like 28th in the league among receivers or something, right? I mean, obviously that's always the discussion. It's like, where's the cap going? And we have to be forward thinking about this too. Like, what do you think is right? What's the sweet spot?
I don't know. That's always the old Julio Jones dilemma, where he would get the deal to be the highest paid receiver, and then 2 years later, he's the 9th highest paid receiver, and he wants a new deal because he wants to be the highest paid receiver. Is it understanding that, whenever you sign, that the deal's going to go up. I think one of the hard things, Joe, is that the cap has gone up so quickly. I mean, not the cap, but these deals. I mean, and the amount these receivers are making has gone up. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams jumping to 28 and 30. It's like we bypassed 22 and 23.
Yeah.
And I think that throws everything off. Writing a horrific contract for Christian Kirk for $17-18 million a year throws everything off. I mean, I like Christian Kirk, but is he a $17-18 million a year player? No. I mean, it makes that Corey Davis contract last year of $12 million a year look like an absolute steal. And that's why you're proactive with this stuff. So, I think, unfortunately, for the Titans, that the sweet spot for AJ is probably going to be between 22 and 26 million. That's a sweet spot for him. I don't know what a sweet spot is for them, but I think DJ Moore signed for 20 million, and I think who else is in there? Keenan Allen, Mike Williams is 20 million, and when you look at Mike Williams and what he's done, I don't know if what AJ's done, blows that away. Because again, I don't think AJ's hit 1,100 yards yet. Whether it be because of injury or inconsistency or what, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
Putting up Devontae Adams numbers. But, his agent, as Teron Davenport told me last night, has the same agent as Deebo Samuel and DK Metcalf, and he's going to push those three guys together because they're all going to be compared, I'm sure, and he's probably going to try to get them all similar deals. And I'm sure he's thinking that's closer to 25 than it is to 20.
So, Corey, as we're getting closer to the draft now, with it being less than a month away at this point, they've got Robert Woods in the fold now. We've talked about the need at wide receiver.
Which is a good deal now when you look at him at $10 million.
Absolutely.
It's like a steal.
Yeah, no question about that. So, as you sit here today, what do you think the most likely route the Titans take with their first-round pick is, and how does quarterback factor into that for you?
Well, I think that's I continue to look at offensive line and receiver as 1 and 1A. Because with the way the AFC is set up with these uber offenses with quarterback play and weapons, I think it's an arms race right now, and the Titans understand they got to be in it. And so the two best ways for them to get better offensively in round one is to draft a guy like Zion Johnson at guard, or to bring in one of these wide receivers. Now, if you had a second-round pick, you could do both and be fine, because there's enough good ones at both position where in round two you'd be set. But so I think it's one of those two, with the outlier, the offsetter, the whatever you want to call it, being that there's a quarterback that they like that slides to them at 26. That they really, really feel like could be their future. Is one of these guys that guy? I don't know, because that's a really, really big decision to make. Because, I think the Packers made a decision on a guy like that, and it hasn't really worked out.
Thanks.
Just bringing that up. And so but look, the Packers really liked Jordan Love. And that's the problem. I think that's one of the reasons why these people are willing to deal first-round picks now, because there are no guarantees. And so you trade for Jalen Ramsey because he's Jalen Ramsey. And so, you can love Jordan Love, or you could love Desmond Ridder, or you could love, Sam Howell at North Carolina. There's no guarantees. Now, maybe in round 3, what's his name at Nevada? Kevin Strong?
Carson Strong. Yeah.
Carson Strong. Yeah. Maybe in round 3 he's there, and you're feeling good about him at round 3. But again, if you're drafting a quarterback, to me, it's not drafting one to be your backup. You're drafting a guy to be the guy in a year or two. You're doing the Patrick Mahomes, thing of, we're going to play with Tannehill this year, but next year or the year after, we're moving on. And so if you're going to draft that guy in round 1, you got to be sure. And quarterback is, unless you're drafting Andrew Luck. I mean, even Trevor Lawrence, now he's in a craptastic situation in Jacksonville. But even he didn't light it up last year. He didn't elevate the Jaguars. I mean, they're still picking first, as last I recall. And so there's never guarantees about these guys. Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning going 1-2, and which one was going to go. And well, one of them turned out to be one of the top 5 ever, and one of them turned out to be on ESPN now talking about his issues in life.
Yes, and I was absolutely convinced Ryan Leaf was the next Dan Fouts, and I was wrong. So it
but I mean, dude, look at the guy. He's like 6'6" with a cannon. I mean, there was no reason to think that he wasn't going to produce in the NFL. But there's so much of it is between the ears and what's in your chest.
So, Corey, a representative threw out $700 million on another program last week as the Titans, I guess, planned investment, which I haven't seen anywhere else, and they did not confirm that. The Titans put out a general statement that that they're going to,
they're all in.
Yeah. I mean, but that's number is a big number.
It is, and
that's right. They didn't confirm. They didn't confirm or deny. If that's the number, or if they're close to that number, what does that mean for what's ahead in terms of all the discussion around financing the stadium?
Well, number one, we all agree there's going to be a new stadium, right? I mean, that's happening. And so the state's in for $500 million, and you can borrow $200 million from the NFL. So they're up to $1.4 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they got to come up with probably in the neighborhood of $600 million to $1 billion more. That's what's realistic to me. Now whether you build a dome or a retractable dome could impact the price, could also impact the World Cup in what happens. And I think that's one of the things the city has to think about. I know John Cooper told us that, the city's not in the stadium building business. They aren't, but they are in the business of making money. So I think that they need to, I think that issue will get, resolved. I was with you and another young man who wears ugly hoodies from time to time, and we were talking about whether the stadium is going to be retractable or not. And, I made some calls on that. Everything I heard is there's been no talk of a retractable roof. I think that would be a mistake. But, the other thing that was brought up to me about it was how often do these teams that have a retractable roof actually open it? Right. And that's legitimate. If you're only going to open it 4 times in 2 years, I do think the weather here is conducive to having it open for much of the season. That's just my opinion. And also, I'm with you. And it's conducive to concerts and some of the other things. We're in a good spot weather-wise to do that. But it's not my money, and the Titans may be looking at it from this is what we can afford. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens, because I think how far and what level the stadium goes to depends on what the fourth investor brings to the table, and that would be the city at this point.
Corey Curtis from News 2, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, joins us every Monday morning at 8 o'clock. Corey, great stuff as always. I'll forgive the Jordan Love shot you took at me. We'll talk again next week.
It's amazing because I follow a bunch of Chicago Bears stuff, of course, on Twitter. And believe me, I hope Justin Fields is the real deal. I really do. But in Chicago, I mean, they think he's the Messiah. and that the Packer dynasty is dead and the Justin Fields dynasty is upon us. And I'm just like, I hope these guys are right. Otherwise, because they are headed in for a massive fall. I mean, if he doesn't come out this season with an S on his chest, he's in trouble.
Yeah, watch out for those Lions.
And they're just sleeping on Goff and Campbell.
That's right.
I thought you guys were drafting Malik Willis now.
Yeah, get him up there and get after it. We'll see it on Hard Knocks, too.
Please don't say you guys. Please don't say you guys.
You guys. That's a very northern thing to say, isn't it?
Great stuff. Corey, we appreciate you taking time to be with us.
Go Bears.
Bear down.
Nice walk.
Hashtag bear down.
From Corey Curtis there. We'll react to what Corey had to say. Welcome your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025. 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com, your one-stop petroleum solution, and try Star Movie on the DDC on ESPN 1025 The Game.
You just made the list.
Dan Abrams and Ashley Banfield are now back-to-back on News Nation. Get the news without the bias. Weeknights starting at 9/8 Central on America's fastest-growing cable news network, News Nation.
Victory Award-winning New Amsterdam Vodka knows all about it, but in life, it's not always so clear. So New Amsterdam Vodka believes that in life, you've got to find your own wins. You've got to overcome your fears, go all in, even when you've got nothing at all. Find your wins. And when you do, raise that glass of New Amsterdam Vodka in victory. You've earned it. New Amsterdam Spirits Company, Modesto, California.
How can a half-carat diamond magically grow into a 2-carat diamond? With Genesis Diamond's 110% diamond upgrade guarantee.
Our trade-up policy is the best in the United States.
That's Stasia at Genesis, explaining how if you buy a diamond today and want to trade it in for a bigger one next year, Genesis always gives you back your original purchase price plus an extra 10%.
We will gladly give you every single penny you paid for the diamond plus an extra 10%, which is amazing. No one does that.
As a real-life example, take Stasia's customer Paul.
When he first started, he got a half carat, and then as he became more successful, we rewarded him. He came in and he got a 3/4 carat, and then he's traded for a carat. I'm sure I'll see him this year for a carat and a half. As they grow and change and become more successful, their engagement ring can grow with them also.
And there's no catch, no minimum trade-up requirement, and it works on diamond studs and diamond pendants as well.
You get every single investment dollar you put into the diamond, you will get an extra 10% towards the new diamond.
Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
You can trade as many times as you wish.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Your first house. It looks a little different for everyone. For some, it's a place to gather. For others, a place to rest. And for others, it's a place that was a place to rest or gather until they built a stadium 2 blocks away, and now all you hear is a roaring crowd or someone asking if you're ready to rock. No, you are not ready to rock. But no matter where you call home, Geico makes it easy to bundle and save on home and car insurance. Easier than trying to drown out 40,000 people by speaking really loudly.
Interact with Robby and Rexrode. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Stop by Social Furniture at 5412 Charlotte Avenue in Nashville and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Preds take on the Chicago Blackhawks coming up at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday, April 16th. Also, don't forget to check out their new sofas while you're in there. You must be 18 or older to enter the contest. No purchase necessary. Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game. Streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. We are live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Matt from Camden texting in says, Joe, let's just say hypothetically, and I mean hypothetically, the Lions become a Super Bowl contender. You're telling me you wouldn't be all in on the Lions again? I know deep down you're still a Detroit Lions fan at heart. This is coming from Matt from Camden on the text line.
You know, Matt, look, it's a fair question to ask. I'm not completely ruling out the possibility that I would rip my shirt off and paint a huge lion on my chest.
Dan Campbell tattoo.
And do a swan dive from the upper deck. And because, look, at that point, I think we would all know that Armageddon is upon us. So I'm not ruling out. I will say this in all seriousness, I would feel really good for friends and family who have stuck with this franchise through thick and thin. I would feel great for them. I'd be happy for them. I would not, however, have earned the right to be all on the Lions bandwagon. I disavowed the Lions when Barry Sanders retired. I have stuck with that. I have chosen a life of making fun of the Lions. It has been a much better life, but I have to stick with that. If they get good again, I can feel good for my people, but I cannot be a Lions fan. I can, however, drink from this beautiful Lions mug.
Yes, you can, which our streaming audience has the pleasure of seeing. Not every day, but I'd say at least once a week, maybe.
Yeah, the Lions mug's a frequent one.
Yeah, it's made a few appearances.
You have a couple
recently.
of funny quote ones too.
We've got a lot of different ones.
Shh, no one cares.
I mean, I got some Sparty. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The pink, shh, no one cares is also a pretty good one. I just like this is kind of see how it's kind of shaped. I don't know why. I just like drinking out of this one.
This is you saying you are truly a Lions fan.
Yes.
We know you
Maybe
bleed blue.
It's a cry for help.
Ron on the text line says, I see why J-Rob is trying to sign AJ now. AJ didn't have the best season last year, so going to try to sign him now before he has a really good season because he's going to want and deserve more money. It's coming from Ron on the text line.
Well, I agree. I mean, right now, you can look at it both ways because AJ Brown could also get hurt and have 600 receiving yards this season,
sure.
And that could hurt him in negotiations. But the way things are trending, the way he's played right now, given his production, as Corey said, he hasn't had a 1,100-yard season. The numbers, if you're a general NFL fan, doesn't watch a lot of Titans football, and you're comparing everything statistically, then you're wondering why people are talking about this much money for AJ Brown. If you actually watch him play football, you don't wonder. But I agree that the timing right now should be in the favor of the Titans to get this done before he has the 1,600-yard season that makes it clear to everyone that he's one of the top receivers in the game. I think that's in him. He does have to stay healthy, and that's the big question.
Austin from Clarksville texting in says, what running backs should the Titans look to bring in the draft? I am interested with Darrington Evans now gone. I know you've got, obviously, Dontrell Hilliard's back, and you've got Derrick Henry hopefully healthy coming back as well. But I am interested to see now with Foreman gone, is there a running back that catches their eye maybe later in the draft? I don't expect them to take a running back with their first few picks in the draft, but is there a running back somewhere down the line that the Titans maybe take a flyer on in this draft? Maybe, I don't know, you think about Ty Chandler, fifth round.
Yeah, it's something like that. You're not going to get, the Breece Halls, the Kenneth Walkers, guys like that are going to go higher. What kind of back are you looking for? Are you looking for a replacement for what you thought you had in Darrington Evans, that kind of guy who's a real contrast to Derrick Henry, or because of what Deontay Foreman did, and because, look, there are bigger questions now moving forward about Derrick Henry. Do you look to get someone more in that mold? I don't think I think Ty Chandler, that's not a bad idea later in the draft. And there's a lot of guys out there, who could be decent players. Another Iowa guy, Tyler Goodson, like those Iowa running backs. They are training camp heroes around here. Jalen Warren from Oklahoma State, Hassan Haskins from Michigan's a pretty good player. I wouldn't be surprised if a pick was used for that. Tyler Beatty from Missouri, I'd be interested in him, where he goes. He basically carried that offense a lot of this year, You forget about guys like that, and that's the thing at that position too. You can find good players later in a draft who can at least be, part of your roster anymore. I wonder, as things move forward, it's like the devaluing of that position. I think you're going to see more and more guys who are trying to be linebackers or receivers rather than running backs, just because of how that position is perceived and is valued and paid compared to everything else in this league. But still a lot of good backs right now.
Still a lot of good backs, and if you're the Titans, hopefully Dontrell Hilliard's that guy that you feel good about this year as your third down back or your backup, whatever role you want to distinguish him as. But, again, I mean, you're relying, and we've talked about this last week, there's so much of this team is relying on Derrick Henry coming back and not only being healthy, but being the Derrick Henry that we've seen in years past, and we'll see whether or not he can do that. I am interested, the quarterback part of this. It's mock draft season, and there continues to be basically like two quarterbacks being selected in the first round for most of these mock drafts that are being tossed out there. Like, could you find a Carson Strong or a Matt Corral or somebody later in the draft that you really feel good about? Will Desmond Ridder be there at number 26 if you feel really good about him? I'm interested. At some point, do the Titans take a draft or take a quarterback in this draft? Like, I'm not convinced it's going to be in the first round, even though I guess it could. But at some point, do you take a quarterback maybe in the third round that you feel good about if you're the Titans? As Corey said, I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
But see, I don't like the idea of, we like Carson Strong and he's there, let's take him. Like, you got to feel this is the guy about the quarterback. And if you happen to love Carson Strong and you can actually get him there, hey, good for you. But I wouldn't use a pick on a quarterback because it's like, hey, I like this guy. Let's give it a shot. If that's how you look at it, then keep building around your current quarterback and everything you have, and keep going with the mindset of, complement your current quarterback. Get a good defensive player, get a good reserve corner or whatever, for the defense. I mean, it's got to be conviction that this is the next quarterback of the Tennessee Titans. And if you happen to love Carson Strong, and I'm not convinced he's going in the third round, but that seems to be where people think he's going right now. What a bonus that would be to be able to get him in the third.
Yeah. Hey, you can find quarterbacks in the third round, man. Russell Wilson, he was there. Brady was a 6th rounder.
Indeed. Yeah. Decent player. Turned out okay. Kirk Cousins, 4th rounder.
Yeah. You can find them. But I agree with you. Like, if you're just drafting somebody because you're like, oh, okay, well, we feel like this guy could be a good backup. Like, I know we've talked a lot about Logan Woodside here on the program, and maybe you do need an upgrade there at some point, but I don't know that right now in the draft is the time to do that, unless you just love a guy.
Well, and the thing is, they love Logan Woodside, like it or not. And there's really no reason for all of us to question that other than, he hasn't played.
Yeah.
But they love Logan Woodside. Now, should you be confident if he has to be the starting quarterback for an extended period, the Titans are going to win a lot of those games? Probably not. But you don't draft a quarterback just to upgrade at the 2.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. We'll get into a wild weekend of college basketball in the Final Four. Look ahead to the championship game as well. Speaking of the championship game, the final night of this crazy college basketball season is finally here, and FanDuel Sportsbook is giving new customers a $150 instant bonus guaranteed. That's right, you'll get $150 in bonus site credit, and all you have to do is place your first bet of $5 or more. How you bet the championship game is up to you. You can choose from the money line, totals, prop bets, and so much more. North Carolina taking on Kansas. It's been quite the run for North Carolina. Really fun game the other night against Duke. But I think I like Kansas in this matchup. They shot the ball so well the other night against Villanova. I think Kansas cuts down the nets. But you can take it any way you want to take it. Just join FanDuel today with the promo code ROB. Then you can place your $5 bet to score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. Once again, that promo code is ROB, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
This is Colton Sissons, and this is Smashville.
Feeds now, Sissons coming on from the left circle, and Colton Sissons puts it in the net.
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network. ESPN 102.5, The Game.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
This segment of ESPN 102.5 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
You know what's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
Our fleet vehicle program is a great benefit to all the fleet companies in Nashville. We are able to get their vehicle back on the road a lot quicker than the downtime of most dealers and most general repair shops, simply because we have the transmissions available. We're able to put priority on their vehicles to get them back on the road quickly.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Trying to find a new home right now is next to impossible. Very little inventory, prices are crazy high, rates are moving up. Here's a better idea. Let my friends at Loan Pronto refinance your current home, turn all that equity you have into cash, and totally transform your house. A new kitchen, new bathroom, a pool. Think about it. Your home value is up. Instead of wasting all that on an overpriced new house, convert that equity into cash for a home makeover. One local couple did it and got $200,000 out. They added new hardwoods, an outdoor living space, a swimming pool with spa and all new cabinets and appliances, plus a home office. Now they have their dream home, and they never had to move. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their home improvement refi. Give your home a total makeover and do it now. You can even skip your next house payment in the process. Call now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Ottawa Senators this Thursday night. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters, Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
FanDuel Sportsbook NBA same-game parlays give you the chance to turn a little bet into a big payday. Choose any NBA game and combine multiple bets into one wager for bigger wins. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code PLAY to bet the NBA today. That's promo code PLAY exclusively on FanDuel Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, permitted parishes only. Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Wyoming, or West Virginia. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona. 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. 1-877-7770-STOP in Louisiana. 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Mookie Betts. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Coach, as you walked off the court for the final time, can you describe the emotions that you were feeling?
Just for my players, you know, I'll deal with me later. For me, my entire time coaching, I always wanted at the end of the year, or whatever the last game is, where you're either crying for joy or you're crying for sorrow. And if you are, that means you've put everything into it. And I have a bunch of kids who are crying, and I'm proud of them. They've been a joy to coach, and they've played winning basketball, and they did tonight too, but so did the other team.
That was Coach K on Saturday night after he fell 81-77 to the North Carolina Tar Heels. Second consecutive victory for North Carolina against Duke to close out the season. And Coach K finishes 50-50 all-time. 100 matchups, 50-50 all-time against North Carolina. What did you think of that one on Saturday night between Duke and UNC?
Yeah, just blown away by how good it was. Ultimately, I just – it's one of those things that you may – get sick of hearing all the hype during a given week, but you certainly are looking forward to the game and you're hoping it can live up to this impossible standard. And it did. I guess the only thing that could have been better, of course, would be an actual like buzzer beater, kind of like the last shot, make or miss, to decide the game. Someone put up Saturday night, better semifinal game, this or Gonzaga UCLA from a year ago. And Gonzaga UCLA from a year ago, for people who remember the finish, just holy cow, incredible.
Jalen Suggs, yeah.
Might have been standing on the table, hitting the shot like crazy. So I'd say maybe that game was better, but again, it's so hard to live up to this. Am I going Robo?
You did for a second, but you're good now.
Yeah. Gosh darn this. This Wi-Fi. Now my train of thought has been broken. By the way, I just got an email from someone too who's offering an alternative to AAA. So
there you go. That's good.
Didn't take long. Yeah. But no, I mean, I think I would rank this above that one just because of what it means,
Yeah.
This is one of the best rivalries in sports, and it has been ended by North Carolina.
You think it's officially over? They beat Coach K, and the rivalry is just over at this point. Roy Williams looked pretty happy in the stands, by the way.
Oh my gosh! Like he never cared this much about winning his own games. What would Duke have to do to have bragging rights in this rivalry?
I guess probably beat him in a national title game. I don't know. It's a high bar.
Like they got to win about 40 in a row now.
Yeah. Just keep smoking North Carolina, which, by the way, like Hubert Davis looks pretty good right now. It looks like North Carolina is going to be in a good spot. We'll see if they can finish it off tonight against Kansas. But, I think you're feeling good if you're a North Carolina fan about what he is and what he could be moving forward. And now with Coach K gone, there's going to be a question of like, all right, if you're Duke, can you maintain this success that you've had under Coach K with Shire coming in? I'm really interested to see how that part of it plays out.
And I could be wrong, but I've been kind of underwhelmed by that hire from the start. We'll see. Who knows? He's a really good player. He's one of a million former Duke players who have been assistants for Coach K. Obviously, there's a reason he picked him. He had a lot of you knew he was going to stay in the family, right? Just like North Carolina did. Had a lot of other good options, including people who have been head coaches. But I don't know, man. I think it might be tough for him, especially now with Hubert Davis doing what he's done and having this momentum. And Hubert Davis, of course, I remember him as a player, but as a broadcaster, he was really good. He's got a visibility about him, and he's just a real. I think the likability factor with him is real high, and I don't know, it could be tough for Shire. But again, it's both of these programs are going to get their players. We know this. They're going to continue to get players, and then see who coaches them up better.
So what do you think of the matchup tonight, looking ahead at the national title game? North Carolina taking on Kansas. Kansas, by the way, pretty much dominated Villanova from start to finish in that game on Saturday as well. They shot the ball really well in the first half. They finished the game with a 54% conversion rate from three. You're shooting over 50% from three, it's probably going to be a good night for you on most occasions, and Kansas was dominant the other day. What do you make of this matchup in the national title game tonight between North Carolina and the Jayhawks?
Yeah, Kansas did to Villanova what Villanova did to Kansas 4 years ago, when I think Villanova hit 18 threes in that game, 18 out of 40. They're ridiculous. Like, you have no chance of beating that team. I don't even think Kansas played poorly, and they gave up 95 points. And that happens sometimes. I think Kansas is a better team, and I think Kansas should win tonight. And I think that North Carolina is in a very rare position of most of America thinking of North Carolina as the good guy in a national championship game against another team. That's very hard to achieve for North Carolina.
That is. I don't know if I totally agree with you, though. I think they were looking at him at the good guy against Duke. I mean, it's not like Kansas has been like some power that's won national titles left and right as of right. So, I don't know. I think there could be a few more Kansas fans than you think out there tonight.
Well, they haven't been winning national titles, but they're always there.
They are.
Right? They're always loaded. And Bill Self is correct when he says, we've had too many good teams that only have one title. But also, Bill Self is the evidence against Bill Self and the NCAA sanctions that are going to come in some form, it's just a smidge below the Will Wade situation. It's just that he didn't say anything outrageous like Will Wade did on the FBI tapes. I mean, he completely implicated himself, and it's just, so to me, does that not have any kind of factor in the rooting interests of America or people?
I mean, it does, but like, there's been so much cheating in college basketball for so long. Like, do you think people really care anymore? I don't know. It's a legitimate question I have. I have no clue.
Yeah. Well,
I think they care if it's not your coach.
Well, could be that.
Yeah, well, right. Like, everybody cares if like there's a particular recruit that your team didn't get, and then the other team, even if they cheated or not, they're cheaters. You know, there's that. I don't know. The Bill Self thing is interesting to me, because I think for so long he was perceived one way, and while like Calipari was perceived the other way, and they are in the exact same boat. By the way, speaking of Calipari, Kentucky, tell me the number, Michelle. Kentucky beat these two teams by a combined 47 points.
47 points.
So do you find solace in that, or does that bother you?
No, it bothers the heck out of me. Oh, it makes me so infuriated. And away, not even in Rupp.
Just ran into the buzzsaw that was St. Peter's.
Absolutely unacceptable. I'm no longer, just kidding. I could never say that.
Fire Cal.
No.
Yep.
Nope, I think I'm good with that one.
There actually was some Fire Cal stuff a couple weeks ago, which I know there's emotion.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of
it. Has that calmed down now in BBN?
I think with some it has, yes. But no, it's still there.
Well, some Kentucky fans are like, oh, well, we feel better because we beat both of those teams. No, you don't feel better if you beat both the teams in the national championship, because it just shows how bad you fell off the wagon in March. So doesn't actually matter.
Those darn Peacocks.
Outcoached, outplayed.
Ruining it everywhere. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. A weekend sweep for the Tennessee Vols against the Vandy boys over the weekend at Hawkins Field, and it was not without controversy. We'll get into that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Cloudy skies will linger with us for a good chunk of the day. A passing shower or two will even be possible. Won't stop temperatures, though, from warming to the upper 60s and lower 70s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Gary Ashton here. Most people in Nashville know me as the don't sell without the intel and the guaranteed offer guy. But despite my accent, I'm also 100% guaranteed Nashville. I'm a guaranteed musician, a guaranteed dog lover, and you're also guaranteed to see me at every Titans and Preds game. Guaranteed offer means the Gary Ashton team with RE/MAX Advantage will sell your house for top dollar with no cleaning, staging, showings, or open houses, and give you up to 90 days to close. So there's plenty of time to find your next home. Guaranteed Nashville means my team lives here and loves it here. We've served Nashville for over 20 years, and we're passionate about helping the people we call neighbors and friends, which is why we've had a long-standing tradition of donating to the Vanderbilt Children's Hospital. If you're thinking about a guaranteed offer, get the only one that's guaranteed Nashville. Request a no-obligation offer by calling 615-301-1650 or go to GaryAshton.com today. Remember, Gary Ashton, guaranteed Nashville.
Has she seen an engagement ring she really loves? A unique look from a top-notch designer? You won't find it at just any store, but you will at Genesis Diamonds.
At Genesis Diamonds, we work with the most sought-after designers in this country. We are proud to feature lines like Tacori, Verragio, Kirk Cara, Henry Dawsey, A. Jaffe, Jeff Cooper, Gabriel, and many more.
Since other jewelers can't get these designers, David says beware of knockoffs.
Often stores will result to copying or knocking off a designer ring just to compete with Genesis. And oftentimes you will actually pay the same, if not more, for that fake.
Why risk it? Genesis has the real deal. Unique, handcrafted, cutting-edge designs and award-winning craftsmanship.
So not only will you get the exact product you wish with the brand you trust, but at a price that you can afford.
Get her the ring of her dreams at Genesis Diamonds.
Every girl wants a designer ring. They don't want Joe in the back room to make a copy. They want the real thing.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Sometimes their glass is half full.
That was unbelievable. It was the best NFL draft they've ever had.
Sometimes glass half empty.
What are we getting ourselves into here? Tough game.
And sometimes it's all about the numbers.
One win, and they've gone on this streak, and now they're at 500.
Hang out with Darren, Donick, and Chase from 10 to 2 during your workday. Presented by Curacion CBD on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
Robby and Rexrode is on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode. You're on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Knezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Monday morning at 8:45. We have Darren McFarland coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll get his thoughts on the Nashville Predators. Big week coming up this week for the Predators, starting tomorrow at home against Minnesota. And speaking of that game, we got some tickets to give away in the Game Changer section to see the Preds take on the Minnesota Wild coming up tomorrow night at Bridgestone Arena. Be caller number 5, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Caller number 5 will win a pair of tickets in the Game Changer section to see the Preds take on the Minnesota Wild at Bridgestone Arena tomorrow night, 615-737-1025. Joe, quite the impressive weekend this weekend at Hawkins Field for the Tennessee Vols. They sweep Ole Miss last week. They sweep Vanderbilt this week. Tony Vitello and company coming in. The pitching was outstanding. They got some timely hits, some timely home runs, including, Joe, some home runs that were a little bit controversial on Friday night with Jordan Beck hitting a home run, getting called back with a bat that was deemed illegal at the time in terms of the sticker apparently not being on the bat. You know, all the bats go through their pregame inspections, and apparently Jordan Beck's did not have the sticker on his. So what did you make of, number one, the performance by the Vols this weekend, sweeping Tim Corbin and the Vandy boys, and number two, the controversy that has now come with it with Tennessee and their bat situation as they move forward here?
Yeah, two very different things, and they're, to me, they're not really related in terms of the performance of Tennessee. Tennessee was spectacular and I think is spectacular. 27-1, 9-0 in the SEC, and this series was all about their starting pitching. It was phenomenal, and it's a freshman, a sophomore, and a freshman. And the guy who was supposed to be their staff ace didn't pitch at all this weekend, just coming off an injury. They didn't need him. And the guy who throws 103 miles an hour, which frankly, I'm kind of ticked about this. I wanted to see Ben Joyce at least get one appearance and see if he could hit 104 on the gun. Well, the Vols didn't need him either. They were spectacular on the mound, and this is the favorite to win the national championship. Doesn't mean they will, but I expect to see him in Omaha, and I bet you they do a little better than they did last year. And that what was a huge breakthrough for them to get to Omaha. Tony Vitello has built something here that we're going to see Tennessee and Omaha more than once or twice in the next few years.
Oh, yeah.
And look, and I think we're going to see Vanderbilt and Omaha, and maybe this year, but certainly in the future. It's a great rivalry, but look, Tennessee is just a lot better right now. So Their defense was great. I mean, seriously, they made some terrific plays. I mean, doubling up Enrique Bradfield, as Tony Vitello said Saturday, he's like, I didn't even think that was possible with that guy. If you go back to last year's series, with Spandy 1, 2, and 3, Bradfield basically just wrecked the Sunday game, which we both forgot Vanderbilt won. But then I look back, oh, that's right, Enrique Bradfield like 6 stolen bases, and but Tennessee's way better. They're really good. They are a legit national championship contender. Don't be confused by that. They have everything. They play defense. They hit for power. And, of course, that's the whole thing with the bat. They are the nation-leading home run team. The bat gets confiscated. This weekend also showed us how dumb the system is, in my opinion. And I did write about this at theathletic.com, by the way.
There you go.
It's a stupid system. So you're going to spend all this time. You're going to have these pregame testing things with the bats. And then both sides, you could put the verified sticker on the bat. So that's a bat you can use in a game. And then the sticker is not there on Beck's bat. It's noticed by Vanderbilt, but Vanderbilt was looking for it. I think that's pretty obvious. The SEC was looking for it. The SEC put it out last week that make sure, we're looking carefully at these stickers, and Auburn had just had a bat confiscated. So it gets taken away. And then rather than test that bat to let people know one way or the other, Jordan Beck heard all weekend how he's a cheater. That kid, every time he got up, I mean, it was just cat calls, and he is the biggest cheater in the world. So if his bat was a fine bat that just lost its sticker, test the bat and tell us, and then it's over.
Yeah.
If it was a manipulated bat that didn't have a sticker on it, we'll test the bat and also punish him. And then you probably won't have to worry about this stuff much longer. But instead, it's like, okay, you have this huge blow up. Tony Vitello screaming at the umps, and they take the bat away, and everybody's all fired up. And then at the end of the series, Tennessee, here's a bat. Okay, here, take the bat. This could be the most doctored bat in the history of baseball. Here you go. I don't understand it. If it's such a small deal, which is how that tells you it is, then don't go through all this dog and pony show with the stickers and some huge thing where a home run's taken off the board. Do we care about it, or do we not care about it?
It is kind of amazing. Like you go through this big ordeal, as you said. Like Vitello was losing it, coming outside, running out of the dugout, trying to get the bat back in his hands. You put the bat up all weekend long, and then you just hand it straight back to him. Nothing's happened since then. It could have been nothing wrong with it all. I mean, they could have been hitting with Thor's hammer out there. Who knows what that bat looks like? But just nothing's happened to it at this point. It's kind of amazing how they just basically put the bat in timeout all weekend and then handed it straight back to Tennessee and said, here you go. We don't really know what's going on now with it, but you just take it and do with it what you will.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can even make it a little bit more powerful now. Here, that's a good start. Now take it back, and you can really shave some metal off it. I don't know. I've learned so much about bat manipulation. It's not like the old days when, Howard Johnson would put tennis balls in his bat and hit like 800-foot home runs as a not very huge guy in MLB. I love Howard Johnson, by the way. Shout out Howard Johnson.
That's right.
Nashvilleian, former Tiger. Sad when they traded him away. But there's a lot of things you can do. And look, and that's the thing. Nothing should detract from what Tennessee did this weekend. They were a dominant baseball team. They're number one. They should be number one. I don't care if they get swept this. Vanderbilt fans or other fans are like, they're cheaters. Those cheaters. Nothing should detract from what they are. So, this whole thing is just going to create that situation. Now, again, if there was something fishy, well, then I think that there should be punishment, and that should be made public. But that's not how they do it. It's just weird. And the reality is, with bat manipulation, I mean, there are high school baseball players too who, hey, I can get about 30 more feet on it. So, warning track shot, maybe I get 3-4 more homers. But this happens. People are always looking for an edge. And if I'm a college baseball player thinking about rolling my bat, getting a little bit extra juice on it, and seeing what happened this weekend, I am not afraid to do it. I mean, okay, great. So maybe they'll be looking for it, and they'll actually say, I mean, Vanderbilt was looking for this. I'm confident of that. The catcher grabbed it, showed it to the ump. So, short of that, if I'm a player, then, you can have whatever bat you want in the dugout. It's just that you have to have the one that you come to the plate has to have the sticker on it. I wouldn't be all that worried about doing it if I had a sweet bat that just didn't have the right sticker on it. I mean, nothing about this weekend deters that kind of behavior. And in fact, it might even encourage it.
On the other side of things, what do you think of Vanderbilt and where they go from here? You've lost 2 or 3 to South Carolina. Now you've been swept by Tennessee as well. You're 4-5 in SEC play. What do you make of Tim Corbin and company and where they go from here at this point?
Well, look, Tim Corbin, as we know, takes losses up not well. One of his quotes from yesterday is, quote, "I just want to take a hammer and hit myself over the head," end quote. He told reporters a brief, he does not take losing well. I'm sure it's worse when you get swept. This is the first time they've been swept at home in SEC series since 2009. Okay, so this doesn't happen. By the way, 2009, there was Tennessee bat stuff then, which who knows? Was it real? Was it not real? Who knows? Because college baseball just lets everybody just keep guessing and calling each other cheaters. But I think Vanderbilt's going to be fine. They have lost 5 SEC games in a row. They're 4-5 after a 4-0 start. And their lineup, I saw there were a lot of weak at bats, I would say, this weekend. I put that more on Tennessee's great pitching, but they got to figure some stuff out there. I think the most encouraging thing is their starting pitchers, including their own hotshot freshman Carter Holton. I thought he battled back from some tough stuff and pitched well. Chris McElvain deserved better. He got 2 balls. He just get lost in the lights or lost in the weird sky. And those are, they scored his hits. Nobody touched him. So he gets these earned runs that shouldn't be on his record. But I thought he pitched really well. Patrick Riley yesterday, encouraging. So if the rotation shapes up like it looked like it did this weekend, I think they're going to be just fine. They're going to be right there. This is a team that has more than enough talent to also get to Omaha, and who knows, maybe get another shot at the Vols down the road. But right now, there's a pretty big gap between these teams.
Well, and we'll see if Tennessee can keep that going. You mentioned it. I mean, they've got some decisions to make coming up too. Blake Tidwell coming back in the rotation. Are you going to leave him in the bullpen? Is he going to be a starter at any point again? I mean, if I'm Tony Vitello, I'm probably not messing with too much right now with the way things have been going for your starting rotation. So that to me is interesting. Like, for Tennessee, where is Tidwell going to fit in coming down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even need him this weekend. Yeah. Drew Beam yesterday is like, hey, if he takes his spot in my spot in the lineup, his rightful spot, then I'm fine with it. I'm like, I wouldn't even think about taking this guy. I mean, Vanderbilt might have hit 2 baseballs hard yesterday. Complete game shutout, completely stifled everything. I mean, the energy from Vanderbilt fans by the end of the series was just like slumped over. I mean, the whistler wasn't even whistling. He's just sitting there sad.
Yeah.
I mean, and Drew Bream had everything to do with that yesterday with his the art of pitching, man. He is fantastic. So I think to me, Tidwell now becomes a really good middle relief arm until one of these starters falters. And it's just an embarrassment of riches for this team. I mean, this team is the favorite to win the national championship.
When the Preds have a weekday game this season, it's your chance to participate in Preds Pick to Click, brought to you by New Amsterdam Vodka. If you guess a Preds player that scores a goal in the game that night, you win a pair of tickets to a future Preds home game. Your next chance to participate is tomorrow morning at 8:45. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Darren McFarland, host of Darren, Donick, and Chase. We'll get his thoughts on the Nashville Predators as they head into a big matchup tomorrow against Minnesota. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Did you see the Tennessee Titans? He has all the weapons to make it happen.
There's so much to pay attention to. Greeny from 9 to 11.
Ryan Tannehill is the most disrespected player.
Art and Han from 11 to 2.
You never stop punching. They've got to learn how to close the deal.
And the Paul Feinbaum Show afternoons from 2 to 6.
Are these legitimate contenders to the party?
Your exclusive home for ESPN Radio in the Music City.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
A tough weekend for the Vandy boys. This is the Commodore Report. I'm Kevin Ingram. For the first time since 2018, Vanderbilt baseball was swept in an SEC series falling 5-0 to top-ranked Tennessee on Sunday at Hawkins Field. Vols freshman Drew Beam pitched a complete game 2-hit shutout with only Spencer Jones and Dominic Keegan recording hits. Vandy starter Patrick Riley pitched well. He helped Tennessee to a solo home run in 5 innings before giving way to the bullpen. Vanderbilt is now 4-5 in SEC play with a midweek game against Austin Peay next. That'll be Tuesday night at home. And then a visit to Auburn is coming up next weekend. The news was better at the Legends Club, where Vanderbilt's men's golf team set a tournament record in winning the Mason Rudolph Championship for the 5th time since 2015 at 46 under par to beat Liberty by 9 strokes. Sophomore Cole Sherwood won the individual title at -17. That was 4 better than teammate Reed Davenport. Gordon Sargent was 5th at 9 under par. As for tennis, the Vandy women's team split on Sunday following a 16th-ranked Florida and then sweeping Tennessee State. The men's team lost 6-1 at number 1 Florida. Spring football practice continues next week with the Black and Gold game coming up a week from Saturday. That'll be on April 16th. And Commodore Hour is back live at the Commodore Grill this evening starting at 6 o'clock on the Vanderbilt Sports Network from their field. That is the Commodore Report on 102.5 The Game and ESPN 94.9.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and Nashville SC's new home, Geodis Park, is nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Secure your season tickets now. Come on and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22tix.
The racing, the big one, the camping, it's all just bigger at Talladega. And with a doubleheader on Saturday and the premiere of the next-gen cars on Sunday, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. NASCAR's biggest and baddest track is back. The Talladega NASCAR Weekend, April 23rd through the 24th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Zines First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell media station.
It's Robby and Rexrode with Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Welcome back in. Final hour of Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Konezovic, intern Nick here with you on this Monday morning, and we welcome in our friend Darren McFarland, host of Darren, Donick, and Chase, also handles the pre- and post-game duties for the Nashville Predators radio network to the program. Darren, what's going on? How we doing?
Good morning, Robby. How we doing?
Wonderful. Appreciate you taking time to be with us this morning. So, Darren, we were talking about this earlier in the show. Tough loss for the Predators on Friday against Buffalo. They lose 4-3. Buffalo's been playing much better as of late, but I just didn't think there was a whole lot of push from the Predators the other night. What did you make of that game, and what have you made of the way that they've played really overall the last couple of weeks here?
What I make of that game, what I've been trying to figure out is the final 5 road games, what ceremony they're going to have, because that seems to be
There's
the
a lot
theme
of them.
for the Predators, honoring Rick Jeanneret, who's been calling Sabres hockey since 1842. So, well-deserved. In all seriousness, 5 decades. Over 5 decades as being their voice. It's amazing. And you just, it's like, I get it. It's a ceremony, and you're like, yeah, but then that goes away, and then you play the game, and it's like, oh, my gosh. Like, are they really – they'd sold out the barn first time at KeyBank Center in a couple of years. That was their season, and I'm like, oh, great. They're going to do it for Rick Jeanneret. They're into this. And it's not the first time. So I was just sitting here going, let's see, what's Ottawa? Oh, boy. Their owner just passed away. Well, there'll be a ceremony on Thursday for sure for that. Pittsburgh, Tampa, Colorado, and Arizona. I've been trying to figure out what ceremonies will they have for those road games when the Predators arrive. They just, the other part of this, Robby, is they just haven't gotten off to good starts. Like they've given up the first goal 6 games in a row. They're digging themselves holes, and, a lot of times they climb out of it. But, I mean, they were damn lucky. It was 3-3 after, after 20 minutes on Friday. Like I said, they can dig themselves out of it. But do you always want to be digging yourself out of holes? My guess is no, you don't. Like, it would be nice to play with a lead and in control and dictating the pace and dictating imposing your will on them, rather than sometimes when you're behind, then you got to start doing things a little bit differently. So, better starts has got to be the theme. And look, I know no team ever gets in there and go, bad starts on 3, ready, break. I mean, nobody ever says, hey, let's get behind and let's try to catch up. But you can talk about it and, but you got to get out there and you got to do something about it. And I understand they've got their way they're doing things. And this is game 69 on the season tomorrow night. And, oh, by the way, teams scout you, so they understand what you're trying to do, but they've got to get off to better starts. This is the final push, and they got the 4th hardest schedule the rest of the way. It does not – this past week, which, they got 4 of 6, those were non-playoff teams. There are very few non-playoff teams the rest of the way.
Yeah, maybe Crosby will announce that this is actually his farewell tour before the weekend.
Maybe so.
And really get them riled up in Pittsburgh. Yeah. So Darren, yeah, I agree. The slow starts, it's become a consistent thing. If there's an individual right now you're most concerned with / most needs to get it going here as this schedule really intensifies, who would that be?
Let's see, a person that you'd like to see get going? Well, I mean, there's nothing to say about the usual suspects that we've talked about for the last 2 years, so we know we can cross those names off the list. Roman Josi, we don't need to bring him up. Michael McCarron, let's bring him. No, he's actually playing really well. 3 goals in the last 2 games. I think the answer really is what, unfortunately, Joe, the boring answer is just the second line has got to get things going. I mean, Cunnin and Tolvanen. Tolvanen was brought in here to score. And I know they like everything else that he's doing, but he was brought in here to score goals, and they need more goals out of him. Cunnin, his production's got to be better. I actually like, and Tomasino's down on the 4th line, I actually like what he's doing. So, I guess if you're going to pinpoint something, it would be him. But really, scoring, really, I don't think it's been that big of an issue other than when they've dug themselves in a deep hole, especially on some of these road games that they haven't been able to climb out of. But other than that, I mean, this team has been able to score, Joe. I think it's cleaning up other things. This team has been pretty sloppy with the puck the last couple of weeks, which has also led to some of their losses. I mean, and really, and we've talked about this all year, guys, their style when it's going, right? When they're forechecking, when they're doing what they do best, they're a really, really difficult out. But that's also hard to duplicate for 82 games. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but it just is. Think about it. Just trying to do the same thing. I mean, we all try to do the same thing on our shows, right? Every single day, 5 days a week for 4 hours a day. Like, bring the energy, bring the passion. That's all great, and that's awesome, and that's what we all strive to do, and that looks fantastic on paper. But is it easy to do 5 days a week for an entire calendar year? If we're being honest with ourselves, right? Like, I'd love to admit the same drive, the same passion, feel the same way every single day throughout the calendar year. Well, that's not really the way human beings work, is it? I mean, there's just shows I'm sure you guys are like, well, okay, we'll get them tomorrow, right?
Sure.
We'll just go get them tomorrow. Like, okay, we'll be better tomorrow. You don't think that? You don't think that happens? And I knew Joe was going to have a line. That doesn't happen in professional sports where these athletes are just like, man, I just don't have it tonight, And, it happens. And like I said, nobody wants to hear that. But it happens, and they're going to have to try to fix that in these final 14 games because, oh, by the way, anybody looked at the standings? Nobody's going away.
Oh, yeah.
No one's going away. And one day you're in the playoffs, and if you're not careful, a couple of days later, you're out of the playoffs. How tight are in the West.
Darren McFarland from Darren Donica Chase on with us here on Robby and Rexrode. So, Darren, to that point, you got Edmonton that continues to win games. Vegas has now tied the Predators in points, albeit they've played 3 more games than the Predators have at this point. And Dallas, they dropped a tough one last night to Seattle 4-1, but they're 1 point behind you. So what do you make of this race in the Western Conference? And as you're looking at really those four teams. I don't know if I'm quite ready to put Winnipeg in the mix yet, but those four teams with Edmonton, Nashville, Vegas, and Dallas, who do you feel, I guess, the best about if you're the Predators holding off at that point?
Well, you mentioned it. The games in hand will help Nashville and Dallas because they've got 3 games in hand on Vegas, and so that certainly will play a factor. Now, you have to make the most of that and do something with that, but you're right. Vegas, I believe, has played the most in the Western Conference, or they've tied for playing the most in the Western Conference, so that will not serve them well. I think that's what I don't know. Robbie, I don't know if anyone's going to go away. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, and I think I said it last week with you guys. I just kind of feel like this thing is going to come down to the final week of the season. And, oh, by the way, that final week of the season is 4 games for the Predators, 2 at home and 2 on the road. Minnesota here, Colorado here, Colorado on the road, Arizona to close out the season. Boy, it looks like Colorado has nothing to play for. And I think that's going to probably hold true, and that would be nice, right? Because there's probably a real shot Colorado maybe sits some players down for that. Because when you need W's and you need points, 2 games against actually it's Calgary. I said Colorado twice. Calgary, I'm losing my mind. Calgary here, Minnesota and Calgary here, Colorado and Arizona. That's not exactly non-playoff teams. There's one non-playoff team in there, so I just think it's going to come down to the final week, and we'll see how it all plays out. But you hope that Colorado can sit, that second to last game of the season. They're like, yep, nothing to see here. Wrapped up the 1 seed, so hey, all you Stars, you take a seat. You don't play. Maybe that happens. That would be nice. Calgary, I don't think they're going to be able to run away with this, right? I guess the Pacific is going to stay pretty bundled up, and unless Calgary gets on a roll. By the way, Minnesota they got to play 2 more games against Minnesota. Minnesota's 9-0-1 in their last 10. Ever since they've made that trade for Fleury, they've been playing some pretty darn good hockey. And, oh, by the way, they can score at will. So I just think this is going to be tight all the way to the end. I think it's going to come down to the final week, and, hey, that's fun, isn't it? And sometimes that's a good thing. We talk about this in football all the time. Is it the right thing to do to take like the last week off or the last 2 weeks off and then have a bye week? We've seen how many times have we seen teams get burned by this. Sometimes it's best just to have that playoff mentality going in to the playoffs if you get in, right? You're playing hard all the way to the end, and then you just keep going. And then sometimes when teams take their foot off the gas and they kind of coast to the finish line because they can and they've earned that right, then it's kind of hard to get things going again, right? In the playoffs, we've seen it, burn some teams in the past. So maybe it's not a bad thing to be in this mode the rest of the way, because they're going to be. The rest of this month, they're going to have to be in playoff mode, and they're going to have to play like they are in the playoffs, and I don't know if that's a bad thing.
Joe, you got
Darren,
one more? There you go.
Yeah. Sorry. Your thoughts on the Final Four on UNC Duke, Darren? I just wanted to, I was blown away by how it actually lived up to the hype, which so often doesn't happen. What did you think of that? And do you agree with me that North Carolina has now ended the rivalry and Duke should be relegated to the SoCon from here?
By the way, that was kind of along the same, not kind of, it was along the same lines that I tweeted out Saturday night. Like, how many times does the hyped game actually live up to the hype, right? And it did. I even said, I hope this game goes to overtime, and I'm not rooting for anyone. I just want more of this. This is good. Mm-hmm. And by the way, how about Kansas just dominating UConn, which kind of surprised me, or Villanova, excuse me, a little bit. I know Justin Moore was a big loss, but wow. Kansas was start to finish. They were just the better team. I thought it was great Saturday night. Like you said, the Duke-North Carolina game lived up to everything and more. It was an awesome, awesome game. Now it sets up for Kansas, North Carolina. I kind of get the feeling that the sexy pick for everybody is going to be North Carolina, but I'm going to go Kansas on this one. I'm gonna say Kansas cuts down the nets tonight.
I'm with you. So that's probably bad news for Kansas at that point.
Oh, okay. I figured everybody would be on this North Carolina train, and I thought Kansas would be, maybe the pick that, even though I get it, they're the high seed, but, everybody's feeling North Carolina. Joe, where are you on this? Who's winning?
Yeah, I think Kansas, but I think this is a rare opportunity for the entire college basketball country to root for North Carolina in a game, which, that doesn't happen too often, but like the whole weekend of rooting against K and now rooting against Bill Self. But I don't know, maybe they won't. I don't know. But I think Kansas is better.
Yeah.
3 for 3 on Kansas.
I think there's a lot of people who will be rooting against Kansas because of their head coach. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Darren McFarland joins us every Monday morning at 9 o'clock here on Robby and Rexrode. You can catch him every weekday from 10 to 2 on Darren, Donick, and Chase. Darren, great stuff as always. Appreciate you taking time to be with us.
Guys, enjoyed it as always.
Absolutely. We'll take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. What's your concern level with the Preds and the way that they've played the last couple of weeks? 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
Here they come, turn 4.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Join me for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 as we talk all the big stories in NASCAR, IndyCar, and the motor racing world. We'll also talk to some of the big names in the sport. It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Apple Collision Centers, Bristol Motor Speedway, and the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Realizing Geico has over 85 years of experience saving folks money and providing great customer service is like realizing there's a crumb tray on the bottom of your toaster, and you don't have to keep turning the toaster upside down to clean it.
How long has that been there? Hey, who needs some croutons?
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or realizing that baby carrots are just regular carrots that have been shaved down.
I don't care. They're still cute.
It's something you can't believe you never realized before. Like how Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating means Geico is committed to providing the best service for their customers. Or how you can peel the top layer of tape off a lint roller and there's a fresh layer underneath.
Marcy, wait till you hear about the lint roller.
You mean how the handle is reusable?
Wait, what?
Trust. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
Looking to score with a Delta 8? Meet your new one-stop shop for anything and everything Delta 8. D8 Superstore has Delta 8 vapes, gummies, dabs, flour, and more. Backed by their years of extensive product research and testing, they offer the best prices, selection, and quality on the market. Get free shipping on every order with customer support that responds in minutes. So don't wait. Try their Delta 8. Shop with us at d8superstore.com.
Here it is, folks, the final night of this crazy college basketball season, and FanDuel Sportsbook is giving new customers a $150 instant bonus guarantee. Joe Rexrode here to let you know. You get $150 in bonus site credit. All you have to do is place your first bet of $5 or more. How you bet the championship game is up to you. Carolina with another huge win over Duke, ending Mike Krzyzewski's career. You got Kansas looking really impressive against Villanova. I will say I think Kansas is the better team. That's just me. My bracket was bad. Take it or leave it. But Carolina does seem like a team of destiny after being so bad early in the season. All I know is that you should join FanDuel today with promo code Joe102 so you can place your $5 bet and score $150 in bonus site credit guaranteed. Again, that's promo code Joe102 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now available. Site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Robby and Rexrode on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Seltzerland is turning Nashville into a hard seltzer paradise on Saturday, April 30th at Riverside Golf Links. You can enjoy this one-of-kind immersive experience as you spend the day tasting over 100 unique hard seltzers, indulge in mouth-watering munchies, tons of seltzer swag, and bust out the grand for the most Insta-worthy moments. Seltzerland has rounded up the best hard seltzer brands in the land for one epic day dedicated to the bubbly brew everyone can't get enough of. Go to thegamenashville.com/contest to enter for your chance to win tickets to Seltzerland. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Robby Stanley, Joe Rexrode, Michelle Konezvic, intern Nick here with you on this Monday morning. Taking your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. So, Joe, you heard it there in the last segment from Darren. Preds have been getting off to some bad starts as of late. They've had the first goal scored against them 6 games in a row. They had to dig themselves out of a hole yet again against Buffalo the other night. They got down 3-1 in the first period in that game and then fought to tie that game back up at 3 after 1. In a game where Buffalo really deserved to be up by probably a few goals after that first period. And then really after that, the Predators just couldn't generate much offensively. They had a couple of good looks toward the end of regulation there in Buffalo, but Buffalo did a good job of kind of shutting things down from the net front out. What's your concern level at this point based on the fact the Predators did win 2 of 3 last week? They got 4 out of 6 points, but with the way that they're playing as of late, which we've heard John Hines talk about as well. How concerned are you, Joe Rexrode, about what you've seen from the Preds these last couple of weeks?
I'd say pretty concerned. They're not playing their best. The concern level is also just the situation. They are right now, I know it was Money Puck, mid-90s playoff likelihood, and now it's 83%, which does that mean anything? Not really. But it's a reflection that it's not going to be easy. That they are now in a battle with Vegas, with Dallas. Look, they could still pass St. Louis ahead of them and actually end up playing Minnesota, in the first round, tomorrow's opponent. But they also could be in for a real battle just to get into the playoffs. So not playing their best. It's gotten very tight in the standings, and although I agree with April earlier in the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, that Saros was not like the story of the other night. I mean, he was under siege and he was good, but he hasn't been great of late.
Correct.
And that's over a pretty extended period of time. Of course, those numbers always, yes, you can say the giveaways in the D zone and some of the coverage issues and the injuries with the D core, all that stuff are factors, but I think it's fair to say he is not great right now. And I don't think this team is any kind of threat to do anything in the playoffs. And maybe isn't even a playoff team. If he isn't pretty close to great, that's kind of a prerequisite for this team going into the year. Some things are better than we thought they would be. But UC Saros being really on top of his game and being one of the best goalies in the league is something that I think this team has to have.
I think so too, and it's amazing to kind of think about. Obviously Roman Josi, even though he's not had a point in the last 2 games, he's having an exceptional year. The Athletic just came out with a piece that Pierre LeBrun put together that basically polled all 32 coaches in the league and asked who their Norris Trophy winner would be, and Josi won. And he's having an incredible year. Obviously Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene have been awesome all year long. Duchene, with a couple assists the other night, now has 70 points on the year. So you've got a player reaching 80 points, a player reaching 70 points, and Philip Forsberg is closing in on 70 points as well. You've got all these things going right. I think you feel pretty good about 3 of your 4 lines right now. Like I still think Johansson's line with Forsberg and Duchene, they're going to need to crank it up another notch, 5-on-5 as they move forward here. But you feel good about the Herd line. You feel good about the 4th line right now. McCarron is scoring goals on a nightly basis, and Cousins and Tomasino are playing well. That second line is the one where it's just not going well right now. Like Mikhail Granlund is trying to drag some people along with him, but Tolvanen and Cunnin have just not been good enough this year. And I think Darren put it well in the last segment. Like, I get that Tolvanen is doing some things away from the puck that you like, and you can bury yourself into defensive analytics, and he's pretty good in that area. There's a lot of things that you like, but like those 2 guys have not been good enough offensively. But having said that, like you've got all these things going right for you if you're the Predators, and you're in the wild card spot right now. Like, what happens if somebody starts to cool off? Like, what could that mean for this group as they move forward here? That's my concern as you look at it right now. And I agree, like, there's a lot of different things you can point to why Saros' numbers since the All-Star break haven't been as good. and all of them have merit. Injuries are part of it. Flip-flopping defensive combinations around are part of it. There have been some awful turnovers as of late. There's a lot of things that can happen, but he is not playing at the same level that he was for most of the season. And if he's not doing that, that's tough for this Predators team. Like, they need UC Saros to be superhuman UC Saros, and when he is, he covers up a lot of mistakes for this group, and right now he's not covering those up quite as often as he had earlier this season.
Yeah, and the schedule gets very grueling in terms of both just frequency of games and opponent. So John Hines told us last time we had him on, they really talked about sitting him down in a non-obvious situation. He campaigned to play. He played well. But do you think about maybe mixing in a little bit more rest than you might have done, a little bit beyond just the back-to-backs here down the stretch? I mean, that's risky because you win these games and he's your ticket to that, but you also maybe he could benefit from more rest. And obviously if you're getting to the playoffs, you probably do that for sure, but you don't know. And it may come down to UC Saros, having to get back to that top level to get in.
Wayne on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, says, these two things I know. One, the Preds will not make the playoffs. Number two, Forsberg will not re-sign with the Preds. And for a bonus number 3, Poyle and Hines will be gone at the end of the season. It's coming from Wayne on the text line.
Well, Wayne, I think that your first thing is certainly possible. I think that your second thing is certainly possible. And I think that your third thing is absolutely not going to happen.
Correct. It's possible they don't make the playoffs, although it's still, if you go by the odds, still likely that they do. It's possible that Philip Forsberg doesn't re-sign, even though if you go by my internal odds, I think that that's unlikely as well. I think he will re-sign. But the Poyle and Hines thing, there's no chance. I
mean, think about where things were as of early last year with Poyle. I mean, if Poyle's not in jeopardy as of 14 months ago, and now look at what has happened since then, he's not. And Hines is. I mean, if you can't see that Hines has done really good things as the coach here, I don't know what I can do for you. Hines should be in zero trouble.
Correct, which I believe he is in zero trouble. SL from Knoxville texting in says, is it just me that I'm weirded out that I'm worried about not making the playoffs, but not because of Duchesne whiffing or Forsberg being hurt? That's coming from SL in Knoxville. A little bit of a change of pace of why SL is not worried about not making the playoffs. Yes, so.
You got different reasons to be worried.
Well, that was now the new greatest of all time, Joe Rexrode, Robo Joe.
That was absolutely incredible.
The new GOAT of Robo Joes right there.
and they always have when I say amazing things.
I know. It's unbelievable. Just the timing that you bring to the table.
That was my best piece of hockey analysis ever, and it's lost forever. And what did I do? Just say, nah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, Joe, it seriously was like that. It was very long.
It was awesome. Let's go back to the text line. Got a text that says, do y'all think that Poyle will end up trading Saros when Askarov is NHL ready, or is it just too soon to even make an assumption? I believe it is too soon. Which, by the way, it looks like there is some developments on that front. It's being reported out there a couple of different places that Askarov could be heading over here next season. So looks like he could be coming to North America, and I would assume at that point he'll be the goalie for Milwaukee. Connor ain't going to be the backup goalie here. That's my guess.
That all makes sense. And at some point, you have an Askarov-Saros competition / decision. Probably there's going to be some time when they're the two goalies here. That's a good problem to have. You keep your good goalies.
We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025, The Game.
Hey, it's me, Chase McCabe, and listen, you know that I love BetMGM. I use it all the time, and I talk about it all the time. They are the king of sportsbooks, and they unleash the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. If you're planning a trip to Vegas, like I am, you can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today and get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Men, what if I told you that now you're able to get testosterone replacement therapy in the comfort of your own home? No more weekly trips to the doctor's office. We come to you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Be seen by a licensed medical professional in the privacy and comfort of your own home or office. You decide. Schedule your appointment today at CoolSpringsMDformen.com.
Now's the time to get the Kubota Z200 mower. It's built to cut quickly and like a pro, so you can get the zero-turn agility and effortless precision you need to turn your lawn into a work of art. Right now, get the Kubota Z200 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
2 locations to serve you, Columbia Kubota or Franklin Kubota. Visit us online at ColumbiaKubota.com or FranklinKubota.com.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait?
With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Nerds. Dreaming of adventure beyond your backyard? NerdWallet can help you compare and find the smartest credit cards to get there. Use NerdWallet to compare travel cards with bonus miles to go from working from home to relaxing far, far away. Then use NerdWallet to compare cashback cards and turn everyday purchases into a beachside cabana big enough for the whole family.
More sand for the third tower.
She's the only boss you'll be answering to this week. Nice castle. Compare your way there. Find the smartest financial products for you on NerdWallet.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Price. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game, brought to you by Little Guys Movers. Here's your chance to be your own boss. Join their team of 30-plus years of profits and good times. Visit littleguysfranchise.com. Taking your thoughts on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. John from Columbia texting in says, Predators are choking just like the Titans choke. It's coming from John in Columbia. John, very upset Middle Tennessee sports fan right now. I mean, they still have an 83% chance to make the playoffs, so I'd hold off on the choking stuff for now.
I mean, the Titans did get the number 1 seed. Now, I'm not going to argue with that word as it applies to their playoff performance.
Oh, they choked.
But, yes. But, this would be different, of course, if the Preds don't even get to the playoffs as compared to a team that got the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Correct. So there's still some time. There's a lot of hockey to be played coming down the stretch here in the regular season. We talked about this with Darren. The standings are pretty nuts right now. Vegas has tied you in points with 82, so you got 3 games in hand on Vegas. Dallas lost to Seattle last night, so that's a tough one for the Stars. They've now drawn even with you in games played, so 68 games played for the Preds, 68 games played for Dallas, and they're 1 point behind you. So, Winnipeg's hanging around at 76 points. with 70 games played, but I don't know. I'm not quite willing to throw Winnipeg really in this race yet. Same thing with Vancouver.
That'd be a stunner if they actually got back into it.
It would. So
a lot of work ahead.
I don't think that's going to happen. And also, like, you look ahead if you're the Predators. We talked, all week last week about how big this Minnesota game was going to be, and Minnesota just keeps on winning. Right now, they're 9 points ahead of the Predators. So you'd probably be hard-pressed to catch them. Now, you do have 2 more games head-to-head with them, and if you win both of those in regulation, it goes from 9 to 5, and then that becomes a little bit more realistic, catching Minnesota, but they're 9-0-1 their last 10. They're playing awfully well right now. It seems unlikely that the Predators would catch them at this point.
Right. It would be a huge win to beat them. And now what you could catch St. Louis.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you do that, then you match up with Minnesota in the first round. So these games are also potentially important in terms of, seeing what could be a playoff opponent. But if that's the case, that means the Preds are going to play awfully well down the stretch for them to get out of the wild card situation and pass the Blues. That is certainly possible, though.
Joe, we brought this up earlier in the show. A.J. Brown's name continues to be tossed out there as it pertains to the New York Jets and trade rumors, and the latest coming from Rich Cimini, yet again from ESPN, putting a blog post up on ESPN.com, just talking about the Jets and their pursuit for a star receiver. And A.J. Brown's name is in this. DK Metcalf is in this as well. And in the article it says, quote, "It takes 2 to tango, and the Seahawks are telling teams that Metcalf isn't available," a source said. Brown is the name to watch, as mentioned 2 weeks ago, because of the Titans' tight cap situation. So there's nothing in this piece from Rich Cimini that says anything about the Titans and sources he has with them, or A.J. Brown's camp saying that he wants to be traded, or that the Titans are not willing to sign into a contract. There's none of that in this. It's just basically, hey, the Jets would kind of like to have somebody like A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf, which I don't really think is breaking news at this point. What do you make of this piece on ESPN.com, and what do you make of A.J. Brown's name kind of continuing to be thrown out there in trade rumors, which apparently, if you read into his tweets, he's taken notice of as well?
Yeah, I think the news here is that the Jets are interested and haven't been told absolutely there's no chance, as apparently Seattle apparently is kind of putting it out there that they're just not interested in doing this. So I think Corey Curtis put it well. It's kind of like the Jets wishing this into reality, but there's no indication that the Titans are actually interested in any way. Again, if I were John Robinson, I'd take all calls, and if you want to talk about just something stupid for A.J. Brown, then let's talk. But short of something just ridiculous, I don't think the Titans would ever even let this get to, any level of serious discussion. I can't imagine.
Well, it just doesn't make any sense to me, right? I mean, he's 24 years old. I get it. There's a big decision you've got coming up to how much money you're going to have to pay him, and wide receivers are making money left and right this offseason. I understand all that. So he's not going to be cheap. A.J. Brown's going to cost you a lot of money as you move forward here. But he's, I think, just now starting to figure out what he could really be in this league. Like, I think he's going to be a really good player for a really long time in this league. And we've talked about this 100 times, Joe. Wide receivers like A.J. Brown don't just walk through your door all the time. That's been a big problem for the Titans to try to find somebody like A.J. Brown. Like, to me, unless you're just so far off that there's no way that you can come to a deal, which I don't know how you would possibly be to that point right now based on where it stands in his negotiations. Like, I'm not even really entertaining this if I'm the Titans. Sure, like, I guess if the Jets wanted to offer you 3 first-round picks and 2 seconds for A.J. Brown, then maybe you start to think about it a little bit. But to me, it just doesn't make any sense for the Titans to really go down this road. And look, there's been no indication that they really are going down this road. It's just A.J. Brown's name continues to be tossed out there.
Okay, now if they're offering 3 firsts and 2 seconds,
I'll start to listen.
Okay, I'll return the call. Yeah, I'm not gonna wait. Make you wait. I'll call you right back.
And it is the Jets, so I'm not going to totally remove that in terms of possibility.
That is true. Yeah, look, that's the thing. I mean, that would not be the offering price. If it was, any team would listen. But even if that's the case, you could have those 5 picks and still not get a football player as good as A.J. Brown. So you find someone like this, you want to keep him. And, I look on the Titans side of the table, you can point to production, which is not elite at this point. You can point to injuries, which have been fairly common through 3 seasons in the NFL, especially the last 2 seasons. And those should have some level of price control for you. But on the AJ side, it's like, well, look at his reaction with the ridiculous Christian Kirk contract.
Yeah.
If he's making that much, then how are you not making 25 a year, right? And I think that's probably about where this lands. That'd be my guess, somewhere in the 23 to 25 range, something like that. And I think that's fair for both sides. By the end of that deal, if everything goes well for A.J. Brown, he may look around and say, man, I'm underpaid in this league. But at this point, I think that's fair. And I think for the Titans' purposes, it makes sense to try to get this done sooner than later. Because obviously, if he has the monster breakout season this year, then that price tag could go up.
Well, as Corey pointed out earlier, like it does feel like the lower 20s in terms of the cap hit for this position has started to be forgotten about. Like we've talked about Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill, and they're closing on $30 million a year. Like it kind of feels like we've left the $21, $22 million a year discussion behind at this point. Like to your point, like his production isn't elite. He's a really, really good player. He hadn't had 1,100 yards yet in a season. Now he's 24 as well, and he's going to get there one day, and he's going to be a really, really good player for a long time. But I'm just interested, how do you kind of forecast, if you're J-Rob and the Titans, what the right number is when he hasn't had a season like a Tyreek Hill or a Devontae Adams at this point?
Yeah, and if I'm on AJ's side of the table, I'm also saying, well, put me in some of these different offenses, and I bet you I'd have more numbers. So you guys have to understand what I am as a player.
Yep.
And they do, by the way. And for any of us who have watched him through his career, I think you'd be way off if you didn't think that he is that level of player.
Yep.
Production still is what it comes down to, though, and availability. I think he's been very available considering the injuries. He hasn't missed many games, but they have been. I mean, he's had a few and different types of injuries too. So it just seems like that sweet spot is about right. He shouldn't be getting paid Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams money right now. Now, again, by the end of this deal, they do a 4-year deal. It may turn out that he's kind of getting, the cap keeps going up. The salaries keep getting out of control. He ranks like 20th in the league in receiver, annual pay. And hey, that's tough. But I think that at this point, that's fair. I really do.
How many more pieces we think Rich Cimini is going to come out with from A.J. Brown? It's going to be like a weekly thing now? A.J. Brown trade rumors?
I mean, hey, the Jets are really trying here, man. They had Tyreek Hill. He was sitting there, he had Dolphins, Jets. I think I'll take my talents to South Beach. I give them credit for persisting. Look, Cimini's a guy who's been covering them for a long time.
Yeah.
So, that's good reporting from their perspective. But there's no indication that there's any actual interest from the Titans in this.
Well, Devontae Parker gets traded over the weekend as well. He stays in the division. It's just not to the Jets, to the Patriots. So there's all sorts of wide receiver movement. It's just not much with the Jets at this point. Because why wouldn't you want to go play for them?
Corey Davis looking for a Robin. Reunite Corey and AJ.
Yeah, maybe that's the goal. We'll continue to take your thoughts on our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is Robby and Rexrode here on ESPN 1025 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Cloudy skies will linger with us for a good chunk of the day. A passing shower or two will even be possible. Won't stop temperatures, though, from warming to the upper 60s and lower 70s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
Attention veterans of Middle Tennessee. Little Guys Movers wants to put your hard-earned skills and leadership talent to work with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. Be your own boss and build a team with standards as high as your own, and all while serving your community with the same hustle that you served your country. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Start a fulfilling, profitable new chapter of your life as a member of a team with 30-plus years of growth and good times at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
You're the one everyone looks to for answers. Come rain or shine, the job must get done, and you're the one who makes it happen. We get you, Jackie in Fresno, putting your employee safety first. And Manny in Chattanooga, whose local Granger team knows him by name. We're here for you and all the ones who get it done, with 24/7 customer support and access to product specialists to help you find what you need. Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
So, what is Jared Stillman going to say this afternoon?
You got to play if you want to earn $14.6 million next year.
Oh, brother, here we go.
But I'm done on investing money in dudes that can't get on the field.
Tune in to Stillman and Company, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6.
This is some serious stuff right here.
Delivered by TriStar Moving on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Watch live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube.
This is Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in. Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game. Live from the Hillside Medical Game Studio here with you on this Monday morning in Nashville, Tennessee. We'll be joined by our fearless leader, Chase McCabe, coming up here in about 5 minutes for a special announcement. Looking forward to that. To get the former constable. Does that nickname still apply at this point? The constable? The suit. Guy's got so many nicknames.
I like the constable a lot. I haven't heard that in a while, but he is a suit. Let's make it clear.
There's no question about that.
How about karaoke master?
I hear he's pretty good at karaoke. Chase is good at a lot of things.
Did you see him in action?
Oh, I've seen Chase in action many times.
I've seen Chase in action as well.
Oh yeah.
Singing what?
I think he's saying Garth Brooks the time I saw him. He's kind of run the gamut though. He can do whatever you want.
Him and
Very versatile.
Him and Caroline Fenton, great duo for Call and Baton Rouge, whatever that song is.
Little Garth Brooks special.
Nice.
Fearless leader, Chase McCabe, coming up here in just a few minutes. Joe, I do want to get your thoughts on the women's championship game last night. South Carolina takes down UConn. Aaliyah Boston and company get it done. They win the national title. As you pointed out earlier in the show, South Carolina, basically the best team in the country for most of this season. I was interested to see if Paige Beckers and UConn could give them a run, and they never really did in that game. South Carolina was quick off the jump and did a really good job of getting some separation in that game, and ultimately they win their second national title.
Jumped all over them. Incredible defensive team. UConn did make a few pushes. I think got it down to 6. Avina Westbrook hits that 3. And then, Destiny Henderson was unbelievable last night. What a player. Aaliyah Boston. It's just such a great team. It's the right champion. And Dawn Staley. And again, I'll say this again. I hope you're listening, John Glennon. I have never liked a University of Virginia sports team except for one. And that is the University of Virginia women's basketball team from long ago with Dawn Staley, because she was mesmerizing to watch as a player, incredible player. And I just had to root for that team because of her. I think she's a better coach than she is a player. She was actually asked that question over the weekend. I think she's one of the most important sports figures going right now. And before she's done, she's going to be in that really select group of women's college basketball coaches on that list of multiple national titles. She's got 2 now. Obviously, it's Gino Auriemma with 11, Pat Summitt with 8, and then there's a big gap. I think there's going to be those 2, and then Dawn Staley is going to be in the neighborhood by the time she's done. She's an incredible coach, and they might just repeat next year.
Hurts my feelings to see UConn lose. Really just tears me up when Gino Auriemma loses games. Although it is kind of incredible. That's the first time he's ever lost in a national title game.
Yeah, it's about time. 11-0 to 11-1. That's incredible. He's 11. So he's 11. No, I guess 12. Yeah, so he's 12-10 in the Final Four, which still, a winning record in the Final Four is good, right? But yeah, okay, that's mortal. 12-10. He was 11-0 in the title game before last night. Look, UConn's a great program, and it's not a bad thing for UConn to be, deep in a tournament, but I don't think it's terrible that there's this little bit of a drought now for Gino's program of actually winning the thing.
It is. The parity's gotten a lot better. It used to be just a foregone conclusion for a stretch that UConn was going to win the whole thing, and it's nice to not have that feeling heading into the final. Look, the women's Final Four was great. It was really, really good this year.
It was. The tournament, too. We're getting more and more of these upsets that happen all the time in the men's tournament that didn't used to happen in the women's tournament. More talent, more good coaching. It's just getting better and better.
Our fearless leader is in here searching for some headphones that work. So now he feels Rexrode's pain. Here's Rexrode going, huh?
Why don't you buy us a few more, suit?
We welcome our fearless leader, Chase McCabe, to the program.
I even have my own headphones that don't work anymore, probably because somebody's used them and they don't work. Is there one person around here that's like, I'm going to take an ear out of each of these? But
it's Joe. He's walking around with
a
screwdriver. Yeah.
Joe, how's your morning?
That's fine. Everything's fine. I have a donut on my car.
I have a donut on my desk. So.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
Better donuts.
Yeah, anyway, thank you for allowing me to come on and make an announcement.
Of course.
And yes, I do have a lot of nicknames. I guess we're going with the suit, but I do miss the constable.
Hey, we can switch it back anytime you want.
That's a good one. No, very excited about this because this is something that we have never done as a station before, and a lot of work's gone on behind the scenes to put this together. So it is going to be on May 16th at the Hermitage Golf Course. We're going to have our first ever Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament that Cromwell Media, not just us here at the game, but our sister station 102.9 The Buzz, 93.3 Classic Hits, 102.1 The Ville, ESPN 94.9. We're doing this as a cluster, as a company, and very excited to put it together to benefit Folds of Honor. So this is obviously a very important organization that does a lot of great work, and now we're going to all get together and have some fun, have some cool celebrities, athletes, musicians, other people from around the area. I will go ahead and announce one of those. Titan safety Kevin Byard is going to be a part of it.
Nice.
So going to be cool to have him involved and some others. You guys will be broadcasting from there, or all of our shows will be broadcasting from there. So. And we want to see Rexrode see if he can win the longest drive competition. So that'll be good.
Oh, boy, I'm going to tell you what. As long as if a backward drive, does that count too?
Sure.
It's just distance either way, man.
Everybody's going to be entertained by me. So
yes, we are.
Let's just be honest there. It's going to be a good time. But You can go to thegamenashville.com/golf to sign up for a team or to donate to Folds of Honor. So we have started that, opened that up today. But again, May 16th at the Hermitage Golf Course, the first annual Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Very excited to be able to do that with all of our stations here. So you'll be hearing a lot about it leading up to it, but it's going to be a good time.
You will, and you can put your team together as well if you want to come out and be a part of it as well. So go to thegamenashville.com/golf if you're interested in that, and see Rexrode out there taking some swings, Chase McCabe out there taking some swings, and Kevin Byard out there taking some swings too.
And Michelle, I think you should reach out to your contacts at Kentucky and see if Cal wants to come.
See if he wants to be a part of it.
Should I?
You should.
Okay, he just bought a house in Nashville.
Well, he gets a lot of practice in golf when he's eliminated from the tournament every year. Just
the
get out there
worst
and
they
start
can
swinging.
say is no.
So see, he was gonna say yes till Robby took that shot at him.
Well, I'm not the one asking. Michelle is.
Listen, I'm going to get out there.
Yeah,
I'm a pretty good golfer.
Okay. I'm here for it.
Okay. Calling your shot.
We can have the shows play against each other.
That'd be something.
Yeah. No, I don't need to be.
I want to be in Chase's foursome.
No, you don't.
I'm with Robbie. Ginger domination.
Hey.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Of course.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Chase, we appreciate you stopping by.
I was going to say, give a quick word on Folds of Honor, though. It's a great organization for people who don't know what they do.
Yeah, it is. And as you guys know, like I'm big into racing, and so they do a lot of work with racing as well. But it's a great organization with the military, and fallen and disabled service members is who they honor, because you fold the American flag. I still have the one from my grandfather, which is very near and dear to me, and so it's a great organization that we're going to be paired with and can help, because our owner is very big into helping the military, and I'm big into that. A lot of us are, because we all find a connection to the military somehow. So fallen and disabled service members, that's what they do, and very excited to be a part of that and to be able to help them.
Very nice. As Chase said, May 16th, the date at Hermitage Golf Course. For more information, go to thegamenashville.com/golf. Chaser, appreciate you, my man. Thanks for coming in.
Having me. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Joe, that's going to about do it for us today here on the program. Final thoughts on the national title game tonight as North Carolina takes on Kansas.
Kansas will probably win. Hopefully North Carolina wins. North Carolina is the good guy. Very rare opportunity for North Carolina. By the way, we didn't talk at all about WrestleMania, and Chase was just on the
I know.
mic.
We had a chance.
What a missed. You know what? I bet you in this next 4 hours there's going to be a little WrestleMania talk, huh?
July 18th. Check it out here. Robby and Rexrode, WrestleMania. We'll talk all about it. That does it for us today here on the program. We'll be back 6 a.m. tomorrow. Darren Donick and Chase up next. This is ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Take us wherever you may go.
There are two guys on my untouchable list.
Tune us in anywhere, anytime.
Every team's got those. That's my point.
Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? Hey, Willie Donick here. My friends at Loan Pronto are helping people do it every day. It's Loan Pronto's debt consolidation home refi, wiping out tens of thousands in credit card debt. Listen, your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi, and even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. Why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the threes? Homeowners who do it save an average of $800 a month. Do it now and even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. Call Loan Pronto now, 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject subject to lender approval.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required.